Welcome to the Gallery and Hurley Unfiltered podcast, Iowa Football Rewind.
Subscribe now on YouTube or your favorite podcast player to get a behind-the-scenes look that you won't find anywhere else.
Summer man.
Hey, what's up, man?
You look exactly the same. I love it. You
I know it. Y'all look the same too. I got two boom boom foots on camera tonight, huh?
Thanks for joining us, man. I appreciate it.
Hey, no problem, man. No problem. So I just left for football. I'm leaving the football game. My local high school that I kind of represent. I went over and watched them play. They were throwing a lot of flags tonight, though. So I was over there for a long time.
Are you coaching this fall anywhere?
No, I'm not coaching. I work with Fellowship of Christian Athletes. So I'm the team chaplain pretty much on the team. I got 3 high schools that I work with and a university I work with in town. So I'm just kind of character coach and chaplain for a lot of them. So
that makes me feel good about the world.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, you're good solid human being helping out the kids. I love it.
Trying to give back. You know, one of them is my old high school. Matter of fact, that's the school I was watching play. So the high school I graduated from.
And really good caliber athletes? What kind of athletes you talking? Like majority of kids going D1?
Some dudes out there. We had Texas State and UTSA were out there. Coaches were out there watching tonight. And they were in town.
Recruiting has gotten insane these days, huh?
It's totally different now, man. It's compared to what we were doing. It's totally different, man.
How was your recruiting trip and journey there? I know you told me a little bit about it, but
to Iowa?
Yeah.
Oh man, that was a blast. You know, I tell you what, I kind of got to go back though, because my first time ever, I'll tell you long time. The first time I was ever out of the state of Texas was my recruiting trip to Colorado State. That was my first recruiting trip. I went to Colorado State, and then the week after that I had TCU, and then I had Iowa. Was my third trip, and I was scheduled to go to A&M and Baylor for my last trip because UT is right down the street, so I kind of did that as unofficial. So I go to Colorado State, have a good time in Colorado State. We go down to Colorado and party the whole week and having fun on Colorado campus more than we was on Colorado State campus. It was kind of crazy how that happened. And then end up the following week went to TCU, enjoyed that. And then Jim Wacker actually left. He leaves and goes to Minnesota. I actually kind of like TCU, the trip there, but he actually leaves and goes. I had some buddies that was on the team already. So he takes the job in Minnesota. And I was like, Minnesota is too far north. I'm not going to Minnesota. And I don't remember seeing Minnesota in a whole bunch of bowl games either. So I wasn't trying to do that. So, you know, Iowa was on the radar. And, you know, a lot of the coaches on the staff at that time, you guys know where Texas had Texas ties. And John O'Hara was my recruiting coach from Texas. And he was a great recruiter, man. And we just really built a bond and a relationship. And so when I went on the trip, it was my third trip, but it was my second time out of the state of Texas again. And I get there flying there, we get there and it's snow. And I get off the plane, they give me a big bomber, Iowa Hawkeye bomber jacket. And I was like, oh, I love this. And I kind of wanted to get out of the state of Texas, you know, kind of moving around. If I didn't go to A&M or Texas, I wanted to get out of the state and kind of grow a little bit. I kind of felt like if I'd stayed home, I probably, you know, I was too close to people. I can get around and not stay as focused as I needed to be. So end up going on that recruiting trip. I remember staying at the Holiday Inn downtown. That's where they camped us all out at. And you come in, you got all the candy and all the treats and stuff on the bed, and they wine and dine you at the power company. You know, we eat big time steaks and all that stuff. And shoot, so we just had a blast the whole weekend. Cats took us out. We at that time we went to a place called we actually went to the field house, the Coliseum. You know, those were staples for us. Another little place was the Masonic Temple, something like that. It was an underground place we went to. I think it was a Masonic Lodge or something, but on the weekends it was a place we went and partied underground. So we remember going to that, and I was like, man, I'm coming here, you know. But I'll tell you the other thing too. Our teammates, they were welcoming. You know, it was like you go some places where cats are like, this dude think he all that or whatever the case may be. They didn't really, you know, show you the love, but everybody showed love. You know, from the white guys, black guys. You know, it was like a family already. I mean, you come here, we're gonna take you in, we're gonna teach you. You know, and that's what it was. We got, as you guys know, we got actually when I got to school there. you know, the upperclassmen took us under our wings, you know, and taught us how to do things, you know. So that's kind of, I felt that vibe, you know, from the recruiting trip, and it actually happened that way too. So we finished the recruiting trip. We go back in that Sunday for our visit with Coach Fry. Everybody know the infamous visit with Coach Fry. Go in the office and he's sitting on his desk and looking down at you, and you sitting there looking at it like, you know, you're just an 18-year-old kid, don't know what's going to happen to you. And he pulls the offer on you, see what you want to do with the offer. And I said, Coach, I'm coming. And I said, I need to call my mom and daddy right now and let them know I'm through taking trips. And I stopped. I didn't take any more trips after that. I
Wow.
committed on this. I think it was in December. They were getting ready for the bowl game that year, the Holiday Bowl, I believe it was. I was getting ready for that, and I committed, canceled out my visits. You know, during that time, when you committed, it was actually when you commit, it was the actual commitment. You know, you commit and you shut everything down. You know, and I did that, and the rest was history. Shoot, I was Iowa Hawkeye after that. Shoot, I remember I graduated in when was it? We graduated in like May, the end of May, and June 15th, I was on campus. You know, that's when we had to go to had to go to a preparatory school for the summer. We had to go to it was called PSP. And it was a preparatory program we had to go to because whatever, some math or something. I probably didn't have the right grades to get in school or whatever. I was barely a qualifier, whatever the case may be. So went to that. We had a blast doing that too. I tell you the bad thing about that though, when we got there, they wouldn't let us go to the athletic facilities and work out. We can go to the field house and play basketball and stuff, but they wouldn't let us go train during that summer. So we kind of had to go train on our own at at parks and stuff like that with the couple guys that were in PSP program. We couldn't really go on campus at that time. So, but it was like a couple of weeks after graduation, I was on campus, and at a college university at the University of Iowa. So we stayed at the Mayflower, not something out of Mayflower. That's right. We 50 now. I'm 50. I'm 50.
Yes, we are.
Yep. So Mayflower.
That's why we're having the interviews to we're gonna piece everything together.
There'll be like 3 different stories, and then we like all the 3 different people will like fill in all the detail for it. So
yeah. Help me remember my story. Shoot.
Okay.
I think you couldn't go on campus to a certain time, right? I think it's NCAA rules. They were like you couldn't go.
I think so. I think that was the case. You know, we got the first day we got there, we went on campus, kind of just walked it and toured the facility and all that. Then it was like y'all can't go work out and do all that stuff and be with the team or nothing like that. So, I probably put on about 15 pounds during that summer program too. I was fat when we got into camp.
Who were you hanging out with, I guess, that summer?
Well, me and Sedrick, we played Little League through high school together. We didn't play junior high. That's the only time we didn't play together was junior high, because I ended up going to another junior high school when we were in junior high. But we were together on campus. Who else was in that? Billy Coates, he came up. He was in the preparatory program with us that summer. Willie Guy, actually, he was already there. He had to come to the program for that. He had, came in. He was on the team. He was in the program with us. Yeah, I think it was like Prop 48 or whatever at that time. I don't know if it was actually Prop 48. I don't know it was a prop where he had to end up being in our class.
Okay. Yeah, that's right.
But not in our class. I don't know how it worked at that time.
Or you got a head start then on getting used to Iowa City.
Yeah, you did. And
or
the beauty of
even the other guys did.
Yeah, we were ready. So when camp started, we had been everywhere. We knew how to get around campus. We knew all the classrooms, all the buildings. We knew where to go. We're kind of ready because we're already there. So the only thing we couldn't do was go to the athletic facility. But everything else we're able to do it. So it was pretty cool, and it was a fun time. We got in and we got acclimated to college classes at that time too. You think about like today, kids now in high school, they take classes now. They come out, they have their AA degree, coming out of high school now. Well, shoots. I was able to go to summer school and kind of get my feet wet and understand, in this prep program, and was able to get on campus and kind of know where everything was. So I felt good about that, I talk to kids a lot, quite a bit about what it's like going on campus, how it was when we got on campus. We're coming in, I don't know how much they cared about stars and all that stuff back then, but we're big time athletes coming out of our areas or whatever the case may be. And then you get on campus. Yeah, I remember that first week of camp, where it's just us. We all the freshmen are there, and we still big dogs at that time.
Yep.
I tell these kids this all the time, I say, we were big dogs, and here I am thinking, hey, I was the only scholarship receiver in our class. And then we had a couple walk-ons that came in, and I remember going into camp, and shoot, all the balls in camp were coming in my way. We had 4 days. We had 4 days of camp by ourselves.
Yep.
All the balls coming my way. And that fifth, and then, you get to day 3, day 4, you start seeing all the upperclassmen start trickling in and hanging around the outside of practice, watching us practice a little bit. All of a sudden, we get that 5th day, and they all come, they on the practice field, and they just tell us to go to the other field. They send all those down to the other field. Often, remember we had the top field and the bottom field. Defense down, we're up top. They sent us smooth down to the bottom, and I'm like, what? And shoot, some folks couldn't handle that, and that's where you saw transfers and stuff like that. But just kind of how you handled it and took it. And I wonder what y'all thought about that. That was kind of cool, kind of wow for that to happen. You go from big dog to outhouse real quick.
I don't know if they still do that, or if they have that first week all freshmen. I liked it. I thought it was good to get us kind of.
I think they bring everyone in now. So when I started coaching, they brought everybody in at the same time. We brought all our kids at the same time. It was we had a check-in time. Kids may check in at certain times, but when we started camp, everyone started camp at the same time. When during the college stops I was at. So it's a little bit different now. I imagine it's totally different at this point.
Yeah. I think I was just lucky to be there. I felt that at least. So I wasn't coming in thinking I was going to do, I was just like, all right, I'm glad to be here, glad to have a chance. And, so I wasn't necessarily like expecting to make a splash. There was, we had a decent recruiting class, like Matt Sherman and, John LaFleur and some of those guys. Like Matt Sherman was, passed for 5,000 yards or whatever in high school. And so you're kind of like, I was like, yeah, I was a little fish in a big pond at that point, I think, is what was my thoughts were.
Yeah, I mean, I was butthurt. I'm telling you, I was butthurt. Shoot, I was down there. I'm like, man, I don't want to be on no scout team. But I handled it right, though. I think I did handle it right, and took it in perspective. A couple of other older guys talk, you're going to get your opportunity in the spring. Just keep running. And that's the other thing. When they tell you you're going to get your opportunity in the spring, you're like, spring is, we got a long way before the spring get here. We haven't even started yet. What are we talking about, So, but I tell you, I made a pact. I said, this is what I'm going to do. My goal is to be the scout team receiver. Whoever the best receiver was for that team, that's who I was going to be that year. So I tell my kids I got a chance to be Desmond Howard, Joey Galloway. I was all these big time names that they see on TV nowadays. I was I played that guy in practice.
I know all his moves.
I know all his moves, exactly. I know all his moves. So.
Yeah. How did you get tied in with Iowa? Where did that connection? You said John O'Hara, who passed away before.
I forgot about that. Brian, John O'Hara, he was the head coach at Southwest Texas, which is Texas State now. Texas State University. He was a long time coach there. Coach Fry at a couple of places, and they knew each other. He was the offensive line coach there at Iowa at the time. And he recruited him. Like I said, I built a relationship with him. My parents fell in love with him. They loved him, absolutely loved him, And I tell you, and then my whole thing doing recruiting was, if the head coach didn't come to my house, I wasn't gonna pay a whole bunch of attention about coming to school there. So, and of course, Coach Fry came. My grandma was she came over, she was sitting at the house with him. She absolutely loved Coach Fry for real. I think she really wanted to go with Coach Fry or something. I don't know what to but he's sitting there, and he sits back he come back in your house, and he's sitting back, and he crosses his legs, and he doing his riverboat sales pitch. on the school and what they're gonna do for us, and his pants legs slide up, and you see the big tiger hawk come off the boots. You know, the whole kick of boot. He throws it out on it. He got the hawk jacket on. You know, he big time. He big time is in at our own house. You know, my mom feeding him. You know, eating all this stuff. Coach O'Hara's in there. Coach Donnie P is up in there. And we sitting there and we just had a blast. And I felt comfortable with them guys. They were genuine. Coach O'Hara was super genuine. Then when we committed, I mean, when we signed, after we signed, they go on that trip, and he passed on that trip. And in my thing, I'm gonna uphold that commitment. You know, I know we lost him, but shoot, I want to go play for him and you know, for his loss and all those type of things too. That was it was sad. And I think that kind of, it played a part in my career at Iowa too, a little bit, you know, because sometimes your recruiting coordinator or the guy who recruited you can kind of still lean on once you get there. I didn't have, me and Sedrick didn't have a guy who recruited us to lean on once we got there, you know, so I think that and like I said, I had a real solid relationship with him, you know, because Sid didn't, I committed on the trip. Sid didn't commit to like almost signing day, because he was kind of gung-ho about going to UCLA at the time. That was, you know, he went out there and jumped out there UCLA, and then he just kept kind of waiting, and they kept recruiting him, and Iowa kept recruiting him, and then he's like, D, I'm gonna go to Iowa too. I want to go to Iowa too, because we actually, our recruiting trip, it was 4 of us from LB, from my high school, that came on the recruiting trip that week. Our 2 safeties came too. Robert Crenshaw, who played at Texas, and Tyrone Marshall, who played at Texas A&M Kingsville. They both were on the recruiting trip too. And I actually thought Robert Crenshaw was going to actually commit, but he did end up going to Texas. And then Sedrick kind of waited. And me and him, we like this, we're distant cousins actually. So he wouldn't tell me what he would do. He was like, man, I think it's gonna be UCLA. I think it's gonna be UCLA. So I said, all right. And then all of a sudden he said, I'm going to Iowa. I said, what? I said, well, let's go, man. Let's go. So it was cool.
I was wondering how that worked out between you two.
Yeah, I didn't know for a long. I mean, he held it because he just kept throwing UCLA out there, and then, you know, they were heavy on him too. They was hitting him hard. They was heavy. It was Iowa and UCLA was real heavy on him, and shoot, and that's the thing. Like, they kept, you know, Coach O'Hara kept coming. You know, even after we committed, he kept stopping by. He kept, you know, it was a constant relationship with him, and you know, Brion was the receiver coach at University of Texas at the time. And he called the house like at 5:00 a.m. one Saturday morning. And my mama don't get mad at nothing. And she got pissed. Why is he calling this early in the morning? So that kind of burns. You know, I kind of listen to my mama, you know, when she say stuff, you know, when she say little stuff like that. So, and Texas was a different deal during that time too, because kids from Austin, especially from the east side of Austin, they just assumed we would just go to Texas without them. You know, they recruited us, but they like, this is Texas, you at home, you want to stay home, that type, versus you were Hayden Fry coming in your office, coming in your house on a week, you know, every other week and seeing you, that type of stuff. I'm like, he coming from Iowa and coming to see me. You expect me to come over there every day, you know, and see. When we was on campus all the time at UT, we'll go work out at UT when I was in high school, because, you know, it was kind of open to do, but that just wasn't my thing. I tell y'all guys the true story. I really want to go to A&M. And I tell this story too, because it's actually a good story, because it was myself and the guy that they ended up signing. You know, you remember during that time, it's kind of a pecking order. Well, it's kind of still like that now too. It's a pecking order. So if you come in on a recruiting trip that week and they taking 2 receivers, and 2 receivers come in that week and commit, well, the ones that's coming next week, they probably out of a scholarship. But that happened to me. It was a kid named Danny McCray. This guy runs in the Olympics. He's an Olympic champion, Olympic 4x4 meter champion right now out of Killeen Ellison. He ended up going to Texas A&M. That's school I really want to go to, was Texas A&M. And he commits to them. He commits to them the week before I go. And they call me and tell me I can walk on. You know, they still want me, but I have to walk on. I said, man, I'm not walking on. And everybody in the Southwest Conference is giving me a scholarship offer. I'm not doing that. And plus the, Big Ten schools and other schools I had offers from. And I was like, man, I'm not doing that. So I kind of got pissy with A&M, because during that time, we didn't have, all these camps and stuff that everybody doing right now. We didn't do all that back then. I went to one camp in my life, and that was the A&M camp. I drove to the A&M camp and participated in that camp. That was the only camp we ever been to. If we had all the stuff that these kids have now, we might still be playing at 50 years old. I think so, man. But they got too many resources, man. They got everything at their will. Protein shakes, trainers, all these personal trainers, everybody a guru. Like, man, we didn't have all that. It was go outside and play pitch up tackle and go play the next neighborhood over and just get better. That's what we did. And then play little league football. Shoot, that's, so that's how I got started playing. Y'all know how I got started playing football?
No, I was gonna ask you about that.
Yeah, I got one question first. Matt Hughes' mom, on the way back from one of our bowl games, I think like in San Antonio, said that we shouldn't stop in Austin to party on New Year's Eve because it was too dangerous. She said she was nervous about it. She's like, you guys shouldn't go. She was like, we ended up not, because I think we just we got outvoted in the van. We were driving back, I think, and so they outvoted who was going, who wasn't. So I think I was one of the ones that wanted to do it. But yeah, she was just like, oh, don't go there. I'm like, oh, what? I'm like, yes, please, if that's the case.
What did she talking about, going to 6th Street at that time?
Must have been, yeah. No, I think it's like wherever.
Yeah,
so I was like, sounded like a lot of fun. And I was like, she's like, oh, don't do that. You got she was nervous for us.
And see, it wasn't as dangerous as it is now. So I wouldn't go downtown now. It's reckless down there now. But back then, no, it's still wild. I mean, it's still heavy parties and a lot of excitement down there now. But back then it was too. But back then it wasn't as dangerous. There a car may come through there and mow folks down. Somebody may shoot one night. It's all kind of stuff go down there now. Okay. It's some different kids nowadays. They have a different type of fun now. We we had it, because we used to go to 6th Street all the time. I just not anymore. She probably was right. Y'all probably would have tore the town up when y'all went down there. Probably still be down on 6th Street right now.
Yeah, right. We just stayed.
Oh shoot! So that's the spot though. That's where everybody try to go. They have South by Southwest, where a lot of concerts happen and artists come in town. What's the AWA, whatever it is? That's they have the music fest down. I mean the film festival down here too. So it's a lot going on, man. At 6th Street, it's loaded. It's loaded with people.
Yeah, Austin's an interesting town for Texas, right? I mean, it's kind of, what is it like? Keep Austin weird. Their slogan.
Yeah, that's the slogan, and it's getting weirder. It's different now. It's totally different. We got a lot of influx from a lot of California influx, a lot of New York influx. So it's changing. The town used to be a town. Now, it's a city now. It's a lot of people in this town. The highways are horrible. We have buildings everywhere. I was on a meeting last month talking to some ladies, and the lady called me a unicorn because we were talking, asking asking each other where we were from and all this. I was like, I'm right here. I'm born right here in East Austin. I'm from Austin, Texas. And they was from California. No, they was from Arizona, actually. And she's like, oh, you're a unicorn. And I was like, we go on 50 again. I'm like, what's a unicorn? First, I'm like, what's a unicorn? Shoot, you're about the only person from Austin, living in Austin that is from Austin. Like, wow. That's crazy. And that's the truth. A lot of folks, there's not a lot of people, the originals are not here anymore. They're either passed on or moved out in the suburban areas in Round Rock, or a lot of people have really gone to Houston though. A lot of people that I know, they moved to Houston. So it's a different climate, but I love my city, man. I'm glad to be back. I've been back since 2021 now. So I left, and actually I was in Belton in 2020, so it was right down the street. I was coaching at Mary Hardin Baylor at the time, so it was right up the street. So I wasn't too far away, but I love trying to, being back home, being in my community, being with these kids and coaches, man, just trying to build a bridge for their lives,
And then how did you get into football in the beginning? Was there like youth football, tackle football? When did that start, or did you play other sports?
Football started when I was, we used to play, like I said, play pick up, pitch up tackle and all that type of stuff in the neighborhood. But I actually went to the park. My aunt took my older cousin and I, Eric, to the park to sign up for soccer. Where I was 7 and he had to have been 11 at the time. I was 7, he was 11. And they had this big, everything was outside. It was only, they had a lot of like picnic areas outside, but all the sign up stuff was outside. So I go outside. I mean, we get there, and there's a lot of kids signing up for in the summer, getting ready to sign up for these different programs. And soccer was on our mind, both our minds. And so we get there, get in the soccer line, and I look over there and I see the football sign up line, and I say, Auntie, I want to I want to play football. I don't want to play soccer because I had never played soccer. I don't even know what soccer looked like. But I played football, watched football all the time with my dad on Sunday and all that stuff. So I want to play football. I don't, and that's all I played in the neighborhood was football and basketball, and we ran. That's it, and ride bikes. So I ended up getting in the football line and signing up for football. And my cousin, he signed up for soccer and played soccer. I'd never played soccer a day in my life. After that, I played football. Got out there, got on the little pee-wee team. It was tackle at that time. I remember going, and my dad took me to my it was my first practice in pads is what it was, because they kind of had the little conditioning phase. And then we got in pads, and I got hit. It's kind of funny because the dude who hit me, it was actually my high school quarterback, and he played at Texas, Southwest Texas as quarterback. He was a year ahead of me. But we was doing a little tackle. I don't know if you remember the tackle drills where you get on your back, like coach blow the whistle, you get up and go hit each other, right? So we do that little drill, and he just wears me out, and I'm crying. I'm crying over there. I'm contemplating, is this what I really want to do? And my dad is out there. He kind of pulled me to the side. He say, "Hey, you can be a punk and quit." And it's back in the day, you can kind of use that term. So forgive me if I'm not supposed to use that term. But this is my dad, and back then he was you can be a punk. It's exactly what he told me. You can be a punk and quit, or you can suck it up, go back in there and keep playing. So I sat over there for a little bit and contemplated still. But I didn't want to disappoint my daddy, so I got back up and shoots. Been playing ever since. And shoot, like I tell kids, you think about it. I played receiver in college, but all through Little League, I played offensive guard and nose guard all this time. I was kind of a little chunky. I was a chunky kid, yeah. So I played offensive guard and nose guard all the way through all the way to junior high to my 8th grade year. My 7th grade year, I still played guard and nose guard. For coaches put me on the line or whatever, but it got me tough for one. It got me, I didn't mind hitting people and doing all that type of stuff and play. I played a little bit of linebacker every now and then as I got older, because I started trying to lose weight and stuff and all that. So when I played Pee Wee, I always had to worry about my weight. Like I said, I was chunky, so they had the weight scale, and I had to make sure I weighed in and made my weight. I remember one time we used to have like little sleepovers. Our team would sleep over at our coach's house. And he bought all them pizzas. I mean, we had pizza and drinks and all that stuff the night before, enjoying the night. I gotta eat lean cuisine, y'all. Y'all remember the lean cuisine box?
Yeah.
Dinners. When they try that little health kick, here I am, and this is like a little bit older, so it's like 8 or 9. This is about 8 or 9 right now, and I'm eating lean cuisines, trying to lose weight, make sure I'm making the weight. And I'm watching all my buddies eat, all my partners, they eating pizza. And I'm like, man, this is crazy. I'm eating pizza. Oh, no. Yeah, I did. We go to practice. I'll have to, when we get to practice for warm up, I'll have to go jog. I'll jog the first 15 minutes of practice for weight. Then I get to go to practice, and practice it was crazy. It was crazy, but I had to make the weight. And it was wild back there. They made sure I made the weight. See that pregame meal on Friday night before that Saturday game, I was eating lean cuisine at the box. And they eat pizza. I'm like, man, this is crazy. No, ain't no kids supposed to be going through this.
Yeah, that's where some wrestling. Jeez.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's back when you would block like this too, right? when you were a guard?
Exactly. You blocking like this.
You block like this.
Yep. That's
Where
how
you can, where you can hold.
you block like that, you hit with your head down. So you make sure that we're still getting our head across the bow back then. Now we're doing this rugby tackling stuff. Now we get our head across the bow and go hit somebody now. And exactly, we're blocking just like that with no holding. You can't get inside and grab nobody. You gotta block. I had elbow pads and all kind of stuff. Elbow pads. Y'all remember the 4 fingers? You put your fingers through and they like that. And they had the pad, it was white padding, and you put that pad on, and the fingers cover up on these two, and the fingers will split. So you had to just ball up, and you just punch people. You just punch people with it.
The thing I remember and I miss about high school was there was receiver gloves called Newmans, I think was the name of them, like those Tactify things. Those were amazing. I don't know why those kind of fell off, right, in college or whatever.
They did. They're still around about the early 2000s though.
Oh, yeah, got it.
Ring ball and I had Newmans. I played in Newmans when we played ring ball.
Oh, did you? Nice. Yeah, I love those things. Those are great.
But they had that it was tactified. That's what they call it. It was tactified. And now they got illegal gloves now. They got gloves the kids don't even have to catch with. They just put their hand up and ball a stick to it now.
Yeah.
Have to get some grip on those. Y'all remember the Reebok gloves we had? The first ones? First we got with they were kind of like, they almost like baseball gloves.
Yeah.
They had the white knuckles in them. They're black gloves and white knuckles. And the grip was like rubber tire grip. So they stuck and they were actually really sticky. And then once it get wet, Katie bought the door, you might as well just take those off because they not working. And Greg wouldn't give you no more either. If they toe up, you just out of luck. You just don't have no more gloves. Just keep your gloves, man. Or not. I'm like, can we get a practice pair, a game pair? No, man, you can't get no more gloves. He was wild them gloves. You had to be in his favor to get some gloves now.
I think they must have had the lowest equipment expenses in all the country.
Yeah, always. I know we did. We had to. They were stingy. They were stingy when we were seniors, man. It was bad. Golly. Come on, Greg. Remember Greg and Dick? They wouldn't give us no gloves, man. They wouldn't give us nothing. Socks, gloves. You had to keep everything. Like, y'all wild for this, man. These gloves ain't no good. Then they came out with another edition too. The next edition they was supposed to be tactified. They were worse than the first ones. They were worse than the grip ones. Those the ones that they were actually had the little leather, the tactified stuff on them. They didn't work at all, really. And they get if you grab a wet water bottle, you couldn't catch a ball anymore with those. You just had to take them off. So I don't know if y'all remember half the time I didn't wear it. I wore my gloves as my towel in school. I just put them in my waist and played with my hands pretty much.
Yeah. I was trying to remember, like, what was your style? Was it the spats and the wristbands? Like, what was your thing?
I don't know if y'all remember. Y'all probably can put a picture. We probably find a picture. I can find a picture of this, but especially it was my starting my junior year. I went and bought some Reebok because I didn't like our Reebok shoes. All of them were heavy, and I always like light shoes. I went and bought some Reebok walking shoes at one of them. I think at Foot Locker. I bought some Reebok walking shoes. All black. They were all black and had Reebok written on the side of them. They old school, old man walking shoes. You like hospital shoes. I bought those and I was spat those. And you remember back then we were quarter spatting? Because they kept telling us don't spat because you can't cover up your logo and all that stuff. So we were quarter spat the whole shoe. We just quarter spat it a little bit, or I didn't spat it at all. Sometimes I didn't spat them at all. But that's what I wore in the game. Like on turf, when we played on turf, I wore those walking shoes. On the turf.
Yeah, so for people that don't know, spatting means to like take tape and kind of wrap around your shoe and your ankle, right?
Yeah.
Tighten that up down there, yeah.
Y'all, I don't know if y'all remember, we had a pair of Reeboks that came out during one of those years when we went to Reebok that actually came. It was supposed to be designed like a spat. So it had like a white cap. They were the heaviest, ugliest shoes I've ever seen in my life. And I was like, I'm not wearing them. And I went and bought me some walking shoes and played in those on the turf. Now we had some cleats. Our cleats were they were okay. The Reebok cleats was okay. And God, thank you that we got out of the ponies after our freshman year. We was We was on the scout team down there in them ponies. I never forget that.
I couldn't remember if you had 1 year.
You wear ponies for about 2 weeks, and they about the third week they like this. You walking on the side of them. They would get wide on you and start rolling over all the time, and you wasn't getting no new pair. You know, Dick and Greg give you a new pair. You just got to deal with it. This is crazy. This is crazy. So, that's the
we used to make fun of the coaching shoes too, right? Didn't we get some of those for like a bowl gift once? They're like, here's the white old man shoes.
They try to give them away. Get rid of that inventory so they can get some more.
Along with like the Revlon brushes and that stuff.
Yes. And the heavy pony turf cleats too. You remember the white, all white with the black pony check?
Yeah, for sure.
You didn't have to wear the ponies at all.
I think he missed the ponies.
I missed them. Yeah, I was like first Reebok year.
They were our year. They stopped them after our freshman year.
Okay.
And my red shirt year is when they went to Reebok. So you came in on the Reebok. You came in on the $high shoe.
That was a big upgrade, yeah.
Yeah, that's like when you came in on the Jordans for
Yeah, right. We still got stuck with the stripes though. the uniforms. Yeah.
I was with Mike Goff. They came down there and played Texas the other day, and him and the offensive line coach at Colorado State. He and I coached together at Stephen F. Austin. So they close with each other now. They work together now, and they came down. We talked about them stripes again that day. It had been one of the worst moments ever. Hey, but we tried to make them fly though, as fly as we could. We rolled them up and tucked them in and tried to make them look good. It was hard to do. Nick, you liked them wings a little bit, didn't you?
No, I wasn't a fan. I can remember people clowning us when we go out. We didn't have a great year that year, and they were clowning us as we walked on the field. I was just like, and it's funny, you look at the team posters. Mm-hmm. And it's like that year, it's just like, oh, it just is really crazy because you just have them all in unison across. So it's so much different than the year before, the years after. They were just like, yes.
It's different.
Yeah. I remember Coach Fry being like, oh, this is great. They're high flying and blah, blah. And I was like, oh, this is going to be awesome. And I was like, oh, no. I was like, you did not do that to us.
The reveal. Y'all remember the reveal? The anticipation.
Yeah.
Like, oh, here we go. And you just kind of.
Like, oh man, no, please.
Here we go. Can you get them back? What are the other ones? You know, what can we do?
where are the away ones? Yes. Where's the all at, right?
Oh, shucks.
Yeah, I was glad we brought them back for senior year.
Yeah, we brought them back senior year, and then that's when we go down to Tulsa and don't have our jerseys ready that day. We don't have our names on our jersey, and that day was just,
that's right.
I forgot about it.
We didn't have names on the jersey.
We didn't have our white jerseys. Our white jersey hadn't come in yet. We played the first couple weeks, 2 weeks, first week in the black at home, and they came. That's when we go back to the original new version of the original jerseys, and we go down to Tulsa.
We didn't have the names on yet. Oh, I totally forgot about that.
We play a game that's right. Always seemed like at some point we're going to win it. We're just not playing good. And then after a while, the clock ran out and we lost.
Yeah, it was a wild game.
That was probably one of our worst moments right there.
That's when we flew down day of the game.
We flew down the day of the game. It was just everything, routine was just out of whack, and no way we're supposed to lose to those guys, and we ended up losing to them. And
we just looked that up the other day. They beat Oklahoma the next week in Norman. And then Tulsa did. And then they went on and lost like all their conference games and finished under 500. But they had wins against Iowa and Oklahoma that year. Wow. So I don't know what happened to their season, but it just went off the rails.
They had a good quarterback, Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald was their quarterback that year. I played with him in arena football. He was pretty cool.
I think we had a steak at like 1 o'clock and we had to play at 3. I think that's what it was for me, at least. I remembered sitting on the sidelines, like, low energy, like trying to digest this like pound of beef I just had eaten.
Yeah, didn't we sit in? Cause we like sat in the hotel and waited and watched a whole bunch of games, and it was just different. Once we got there, we waited in a hotel for we went to a hotel and waited.
We didn't
And
sleep there.
we didn't sleep there. We just waited and ate. We ate there, and then we watched games, and then we got ready to go to the game. It was the strangest thing. I bet Coach Fine didn't ever do that again either, did he?
I don't think so.
No, he learned his lesson on that one, I think. Yeah.
I think they even said that in the quotes afterwards, that they were mad and felt disrespected that we just waltzed in day of the game.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Probably jumped them up.
Yep.
But it was fun because I never felt like we were going to lose that game. It was like, it's like at any moment, we're going to score like 3 touchdowns in a row and we'll be good. But it just didn't happen. We were scoring and they'd go score again. And then after a while, we just couldn't score. And that clock was 0-0 in the fourth quarter. And we had to get on that plane and go back home with that loss. It was like, golly. I had a lot of family come down to that game too. That was the other thing. It was pretty close.
No, yeah.
That game hurt me for a while. I remember that game because we wasn't supposed to lose that at all.
Where was your favorite spot to play? Where'd you like playing?
I enjoyed playing in the Metrodome. I had a good game in Metrodome my redshirt year.
Oh yeah.
The redshirt sophomore year. That's Matt Sherman breakout year, right there. Mm-hmm. Had a good game in that game. I enjoyed playing the Metrodome because it was cool. I liked how it was 50-50 with the fans. We had just as many fans they had. So the aura in there was cold. So it was good how everybody, it was always loud because it was loud when they had it. It was loud when we had the ball. So it didn't matter. So it always stayed loud.
That game was pretty awesome, actually.
Yeah.
Like, I think it was high 40s. It was like 49-42 or something final. And it was like everything you could think of.
Yeah.
Blocked kicks, blocked punts, punt returns, kickoff return recoveries, fumbles, scoop and scores, interception returns. It was everything happened in that game.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Streaker. They had a gorilla streaker. Was that the game, right?
I think that was the same one, yeah.
Exactly.
I'll find that clip too.
Yeah. I enjoyed the big house and the horseshoe too. Those cool places, monumental places to play. And Penn State. I always had a good game at Penn State. For whatever I went there twice and played well twice. I enjoyed Happy Valley. I tell y'all about Happy Valley though. Happy Valley is different. When I was an analyst at Wisconsin with Brett, this was 2005. Their fans were totally different than the fans we played against. It was just, Nick, you was there for the 60-20 drubbing when we go up there.
Oh yeah. I was there for that, and when we won too. I think we won by like 3 the next year.
Well, my senior year we won by 1. We won 21-20.
Yeah, a couple, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So we go up there, we get beat 60-20. As we walking out the field, and we kind of take the little what's it called? The monumental victory because we won the second half. They didn't score on the second half. The same thing happened at Ohio State too. When we got beat. But we go up there, and as we walking out the field at the end of the game, they clapping for us. Like, good job, Iowa, good job. And then we got thrashed. So they good job, you guys played hard. You played out the fan. Y'all remember us walking out of the tunnel and they telling us good job. They clapping for us. Well, I go as an analyst. Well, I'm with Wisconsin, and we go in Happy Valley, and we come out of the tunnel for pregame. It's a totally different crowd there. They cussing, throwing stuff. You mother bad, big bad. We gonna beat y'all. I'm like, it's not the Happy Valley fans that I saw 90, 94, 90, whatever that year, what it was, we was down there. I was like, y'all was cool. Even when we won the year, 96, they were cool. They made y'all played a great job, good job, clapping for us. In 2005, they had some thugs out there. I'm telling you, it was because I don't remember when we came out the tunnel, they wasn't huddled, like they kind of changed their atmosphere too. So you come out the tunnel in 2005, it's like roped off, and you got to walk through these ropes, and it's all their fans, and they just going crazy at you right there. Well, when we came out it, we just came out the tunnel. It was just us. It wasn't nobody there. Well, no, it's totally different. It's totally different than Happy Valley now. All these places. I'm pretty sure Iowa's probably different for the opponent now coming out too, but it's a whole different case in Happy Valley. It ain't Happy Valley for nobody coming out that tunnel. Now you can kick their butt if you want to, but it's different coming out of that tunnel now. I know I said, man, I said the same. I say, man, the other analyst that with us that was with me, what's that boy name? He actually played at Penn State. And I said, man, this wasn't like this when I was in school. The fans were nice, they were nicer than this. So yeah, they didn't change this up a little bit. So that's how it was, man. They were rowdy. I guess that's a new aura. Now you got to have that atmosphere. Those three places I enjoyed. Happy Valley. I enjoyed Happy Valley. I enjoyed the Horseshoe and the Big House. I only played in the Big House once though. We didn't play Michigan a whole bunch.
Yeah, we skipped them, and we only played at Ohio State once too.
Up there, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. We should have beat them our senior year, Bree. We had them on the ropes.
No, I thought we were going to get them.
We should have beat them. That was our shot. That was that year. That was that Tulsa year. That was the year we should have easily been 10-2. I don't know if we was going to beat Northwestern. For whatever reason, Northwestern was just good. They just got good.
I didn't feel like we'd win that game. Yeah, that was one straight up beat.
Yeah.
That Northwestern game was freezing, right? I think I took a snowball in the face as we were walking out, and I was
the
like,
95 one was there. That was freezing, and then we lost at home in 96.
Yeah, they were rowdy on their lake. They were rowdy on their lake. I didn't really like that turf. That turf was hard. Their turf and Indiana's turf was real hard. Indiana they were rowdy too. It was a rowdy crew. There's different people. I think Indiana probably was the hardest hitting. They had the hardest hitting secondary I ever played against. They hit hard for whatever reason. They just, some of them teams like they sorry, you're gonna beat them, but they hit you hard, and that's kind of that's what they were to us, Then I don't know if y'all remember, Illinois was okay, but when Illinois, our red shirt year, Illinois had Simeon Rice, Dana Howard, what's the other DN that played in the league?
Kevin Hardy.
Kevin Hardy. I mean, everybody on their defense went to the NFL. And I'm like, this is unbelievable. They ran a coverage. They ran a little trap cover too that they run into the split side. And if I'm in the boundary, I can never forget this because we threw a pick on him, matter of fact, and I had to tackle Kevin Hardy, and because he was a drop in, so he was playing like a trap corner. They would bail the corner, and if we went 3-by-1 to the field, whatever the case may be, they would bail the corner, and he'll drop into the flats, and he dropped and picked one of our balls, picked the hitch off. Picked the curl off. Not a curl, comeback. He picked the comeback off, and I had to tackle him. I was like, man, this dude is too big for one. And he's huge. He is huge. I'm sitting there, I hit him, and luckily, all the old linemen everybody coming to hit him, and we end up getting him down. But I'm like, this dude his body is too hard, and he's too big. It's unbelievable, and he's too fast to be dropping in the flats and playing and picking balls out. He's a DN, and he is dropping in the flat. I'm like, man, this defense, for whatever, no scheme was working that year against them. Because it didn't matter. They had dudes everywhere, from the safeties all the way down to the D-line. I was like, man, this don't make no sense. And they beat our butt like that too. This was matter of fact, that was in Kennett. It was at the house. Our red shirt our sophomore year, one of them years. Yeah, they beat the brakes off us, and their defense was good. I was like, golly, and they hit hard too. They all hit hard. They secondary didn't hit as hard, but everybody else.
They beat us pretty bad at their place too, right? It was like 40 something to 7, I think.
One of them years, yes. Our senior year, we go back up there and we get them back, and we beat them.
94, 47-7 there.
Yeah, we was getting drugged. They was rough.
One of the funny stories I remember from those games was we were playing in Champaign, right? And one of the student section kids like, go back to your corn state. I was like, bro, take a look out your back door. Like, what are you talking about? I'm like, well, you haven't been outside yet, have you?
Yeah, exactly. You can pass us some more corn. That's like, yeah, y'all got corn too. What's the difference? So shoot. That was what's crazy about that area. You know, people always say we were the corn state, but they all had corn in those states. It was no different. We drive and see the same stuff when we got to places, you know. So, you know, we go over in the mountains over in Happy Valley. That's about it. Everybody else had corn too. Was no difference. Oh, that's the place. Michigan State. I enjoy Michigan State, actually. That was cool. That's a cool little place to drive into.
You like the locker rooms the best?
Yeah, yeah. Those one with the toilet out in the open. Remember,
Yes.
go crossing on the toilet. You know, where me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was a wake-up call. Like, oh wow, this is I don't know how to handle this situation.
How you handle this that 19, 20-year-old kid?
No.
I mean, you see head coach withering on a toilet in front of you, taking a crap and not caring about it either.
Trying to have a conversation with you. You're like, oh man.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I don't know if
what do I look at him? What
yeah.
here?
Do I look or do I look up or what?
Yeah, you look down, you look around, I'm like this. Yeah, I'm like what?
He prepped us for it too. You remember because he told us in the pregame, I mean our meetings, you know, when we have a little coach meeting with him when we all around. And we're in the meetings, in our team meeting, but we break out in our position meetings. And he's like, well, man, there's going to be a toilet. You know, he kind of broke it out there. There's going to be a toilet out in the open. Locker room's going to be small. It's going to be terrible. You know, you got to get ready, get your mind right. You know, giving us all that hoorah. But, you know, you don't really understand until you see it. And until you see him sit on the toilet, because he forewarned. Little did we know he was forewarning us that it's about to go down when he get there. So, that's what he really was telling us. Don't be shy.
He set an example. He went first.
Yeah, exactly. He set the tone for us. Sure. We pissed off. We'll kick their butt behind that.
Yeah, right. I remember also there was like, I think they had like the personal pan pizza there at the stands, and so they had the boxes. I just remember these student section just raining these like cardboard boxes down on us, these little like squares, something crazy like that, just like stuff just like raining on the field.
They was wild, man. Fans wild. They don't care. They don't care. Wisconsin, they wild. The Big Ten was wild, period, back then. Except for Happy Valley. I'm telling you, Happy Valley was nice. They was Happy Valley at the time, but they're not Happy Valley anymore in the 2000s. Yeah. That was the only nice place we went to. Everybody else was what we called in Austin roguish. They were absolutely roguish. They was just getting after it. Where else do we play? Do we go to, is that that's all the Big Ten places?
Purdue?
I think we hit up a lot of them now.
I kind of don't remember. We only went to Purdue once.
Yep.
It wasn't super ruckus. It was just kind of, I almost don't even remember the stadium. I remember playing the game. I ran 2 reverses in that game for about 6 yards apiece. I got on one of them though. But I don't remember that game a whole bunch. Remember Iowa State and all them guys. That's the thing. Some of them games I don't remember like that. You know, even like some of our away games that we went to, there was some play. I guess the Meadowlands. Did you go to the Meadowlands, B?
No.
Our scout team player of the week.
All right, nice.
Got to travel, yeah. Got to travel there. And I forgot. I did my freshman year. I went to Colorado. Those two, I traveled to Colorado and the Kickoff Classic. I went to the Kickoff Classic and traveled for that because I was scout team players for both weeks on those.
So you redshirted that year, but you still got to travel. I mean, I know like the Meadowlands because that was like a special Kickoff Classic event, but Colorado was like a road game, but they still took you as a redshirt. Wow.
Yes. I traveled in that game. Yep. I traveled in that game.
Is that when Mike Daly played with like 2 clubs? He had both his wrists broken, I think, or hands broken?
I think so. Yeah. Mike Daly was wild. He was a wild dude. Mike Daly, that's when he tried to haze us a little bit too. But put us in the shower. I'm gonna put us in the shower and try to tape us up. And I wasn't having. Me and him got into it too. He was trying to beat me up though. That was the only fight we didn't fight, but that was the only little skirmish really I had with a teammate.
Maybe they backed away after that.
Huh?
Like, maybe they backed away after that.
Yeah.
Send a message.
Yeah.
Don't mess with me.
After that, we was fine. Now I don't know if y'all remember Mike Wells. Now Mike Wells coming in and tape you up. You just be taped up.
Yes, I vaguely remember that. Just like the chaos that ensued around that part. Yeah. You're just like, okay, you can do whatever you need to, and let's just get this over with.
Get this over with. You all right? So shoot. But it was fun, man. It was fun.
You said Bielema, so he was there our redshirt freshman year.
Bielema was the team captain our true freshman year. Yeah,
true freshman, right.
When we played California in '93, their defense was fast. They had dudes all over the place that could run. They had a big time linebacker. I forgot his name.
Klitsky or something like that, I think.
I think so. White kid. He was cold though.
He was fast. Yeah,
he looked like you remember the program, the linebacker, what was the guy with the shag, the ponytail hair? What was the name? Latimer. He was just like Latimer. He was cold. He was fast. He was, oh man, the dude was hitting folks. And before we know it, it was 37-3, and it was like we wasn't even at the Alamo Bowl because they were
somehow they ended up there and they shouldn't have been there.
Because it was wasn't like a 3-way tie in the Pac-12 or whatever. And they got that game.
Something like that. Yeah, they got way shifted down to play us. We were barely 500, I think.
Yeah,
it was a mismatch.
5-6.
They had Todd Stussy too, was a big left tackle. I think went to the pros.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, Stussy did play in the league, and Stussy was a Pro Bowler too, wasn't he?
I would say, yeah, he played really well. Yeah, in the NFL for sure. I would assume he probably was. Do you think they were as fast as Oregon was? Oregon seemed fast too, or at least from where we were sitting.
Oregon was fast. That's why I say all those Pac-12. And I'll tell you the other fast team that we played against. We ended up beating them, but Arizona was fast too. They whole secondary played in the NFL. Shoot, you had Chris McAllister, who won a Super Bowl with the Baltimore Ravens. Kelly was the other corner, and I forgot the two safeties' names, but all them boys is in the league, and them boys could run. And you remember I don't know if you remember Chris McAllister was about 6'3", with long arms to run. And I'm like, man, and these dudes, they that Desert Storm, they were straight man the whole game on us. It didn't care.
Wow.
I was like, ooh. So that was a tough matchup right there. Arizona probably was the toughest secondary I played against. You know, even with like Sean Springs and them, they were good, but they were all right. I thought Antoine Winfield was better than Sean Springs as a cover guy.
He was good.
I caught my first pass on Ty Law. Yeah, Hall of Famer. I actually caught a pass the week before, and my first pass was caught in the trash game after we beat by Penn State at home, and me and Matt I was getting some run at the end of the game. And I caught a pass, but my first real action was that Michigan game the next week. I caught a pass on Ty Law. I got a picture of a Hall of Famer in my storage somewhere.
I think that's one thing about sports, right? That you just like, there's always someone that's better, and like, just it's a really humbling experience to play against some of these people, like you said, like Kevin Hardy. He's just like athletic freak, right? You're just like, I cannot compete with that, right? I just do not have those skills.
It's crazy. And you just go down the list. Oh shoot, we named a lot of cats tonight. You look, Sean Springs, Winfield, Kelly, McAllister. The list goes on. Ty Law. I mean, like I said, Ty Law, Hall of Famer. Them big time dudes. It's just that we lined up against week in and week out, And shoot, you got Hall of Famer, and hey, I'm just an old high school football coach now, but that's how it is.
So you played some arena after Iowa. You got into that, and then you got into coaching?
Actually, when I got through at Iowa, we go through, we go have our little pro day at Iowa and go through all those deals. I didn't run well. Once I ran terrible, really. I ran like a 4.6 in my pro day. I don't know if I prepared right or right trained, whatever the case may be. I ran a 4.6. And actually I talked, but I caught the ball well. I ran routes, caught the ball well. The year before that, I actually ran routes for Kurt Warner. When he not the year, but 2 years before that, I ran routes for Kurt Warner when he did his tryout. And I don't know if y'all remember, he came down and did his tryout for some scouts at in the bubble.
Oh, really?
I ran routes for him. Yeah, so that was kind of cool. I ended up running routes for him down there and catching ball. So we get to 96, and we come out and actually I have a good workout. As far as a matter of fact, my shuttle was real. Both my shuttles was good. The new shuttle had just came with that little L shuttle drill, and I was good at that. I was good, quickness and all that stuff was all right. I wasn't no super fast runner, but I ran. My test was good, but my 40 wasn't that good, and I asked Coach P. I said, Coach P, what are the scouts saying about me? He's like, man, your size and you're not fast enough. And he just broke it down to me like that. And it kind of crushed me. I was like, all right, and I always knew, I said, whenever I'm done playing football, I'm gonna go play, I'm gonna go coach, I'm going to coach. And my high school head coach had a job waiting for me. It was just so instead of me continuing to pursue it, I didn't pursue it. And I kind of like, I took his word as gold and rolled out. I was like, man, no matter how I was sitting, I'm going home and I'm going to start coaching, which in hindsight, I probably shouldn't have. I probably should have stayed and figured out how to become a grad assistant. I didn't even know nothing about all that back then. And I start seeing like Brett and Bobby Diaco and all those guys become grad, but I didn't know I really didn't know what that was, how they got involved in it, how that happened, how you can even do it. But I had high school coaching on my mind. I knew I could do that. I knew I had a job doing it. So I ended up, a couple of days after that tryout, I ended up leaving. I left and came back to Austin, and probably should have stayed a little longer and see what happens afterwards. But I left and started coaching in 97, 98. And then in 99, a cousin of mine called me. He's like, man, you still have football in you. I don't know why you're not trying to play. It's like, man, I was kind of butthurt behind Coach P telling me what he told me, because I didn't feel like our senior year didn't go how I thought it should go for me as well too, whatever the case may be. But y'all know me. I cared about what we were doing as a team. As long as we was winning games, I didn't care. We called it attacking the stovepipe. I was one of the best stovepipe attackers there was. And that's for anybody who don't know. That's when the player's going away from me, and I got to go cut off the backside safety and block him to keep him from getting to the play. And if he didn't get to the play, I had to turn back and block this cornerback that was covering me. So, my whole thing, if that's what I was doing all game, I'm gonna be the best stovepipe attacker I can be. That was my deal. I want to make sure, as long as we winning the game and Sedrick and Tavian, they getting all, they popping these long runs and all this type of stuff. I'm fine with it, but and I'm getting cut blocks. We used to count our cut blocks. We're going in our receiver meeting. We count how many cut blocks we have. You see Tim Dwight was getting all the passes. We wasn't getting the passes. We got to go block. So King, we call him King Hawk. That's my boy King Hawk. He getting all the rocks. We got to go get the blocks.
Rocks on the blocks.
Yeah, right. He got the rocks. He got the blocks. Who getting them? We getting the blocks. He getting the rocks. So went over there, so we, I was that didn't bother me, So I, as far as playing, I wasn't worried. I wasn't concerned about catching, how many I called and all this and that, hindsight, maybe I should have, fussed and griped a little bit more, but that wasn't my thought process. I was about us, about us winning and us being successful. And I think our team was like that. It was kind of built and bred like that. So I wasn't too worried about it. So my cousin, he was like, man, you still got some football in you. Back to that story. You still got football in you. I said, yeah, but what? And this time, this was 1999. there was a indoor professional team called, they was bringing the Texas Terminators to Austin. It was a new team coming to Austin in the IPFL League, Indoor Professional Football League. It's like, man, they got this league coming up. You need to go try out for it. He was living in Houston, and he called me back in Austin, telling me I need to go try out for this team. So I kind of I was like, man, I don't know. I do the research, and they're really at this time, they're trying to, their goal was to get backing in Austin. They were going to really dive into recruiting a lot of or signing a lot of Texas players, a lot of former Texas Longhorns, which they signed a lot of big time Texas Longhorn names on this team. Lance Gunn, they signed James Brown, they signed Butch Hadnot. You know, Butch Hadnot was a big time running back in the day. They signed all these guys, you know, to the team to try to make sure they had some backing in it, you know. So I said, all right, I'll go out and do the tryout. Well, I get to the tryout and get out the tryout, and I run the 40, and I pull my hamstring at the 40. And I'm like, see, this ain't, I ain't supposed to be playing no more. So, but I end up making the team. Because for whatever reason we did some testing or something, and then no, we did all the testing. I didn't get to do any drills because I ran the 40 and pulled my hamstring. But the head coach saw my highlight tape, and he's like, man, I want, you know, when you get well, I want to give you another shot. So I ended, you know, hamstring got right, ended up going to camp and making the team. And I ended up being all league receiver. I was leading receiver in the league for yards and touchdowns that year. We go to the championship, we ended up losing the championship to Hawaii Hammerheads. We split with them. So we beat them 2-0 in the regular season. They ended up beating us in the championship at our place. But them some hard hitting dudes too. Them boys was hitting hard too in that game. You know, arena, you can't run from folks in arena football too much. They hitting hard. So I end up playing in that league and doing well in the league and becoming, you know, all league receiver in that league. Caught more balls in that one season I ever caught at Iowa. So, shoot, I caught Iowa my whole year, you know. So, and then after
were you
that,
training for this? Like in the years between, were you still training, or you had
well, I was coaching, so I was staying in shape because I was coaching my kids. I used to train some kids, so I was still working out and doing those type of things at my high school that I was working at. So I was still working out and staying in shape and all that type of stuff and playing. Matter of fact, they had a flag football league that I was playing in during that time too. So I was playing flag football and, you know, staying active. I was still relatively active with, you know, because I'm a young guy, just graduated from college. I'm teaching and coaching, so you don't back on the campus. You kind of gotta show the kids that you still can do it too. They respect you when they see you doing that type. So I was like, you know, I'm one of them coaches that to this day I still got cleats in the back of my car just in case I got to show. Yeah, just in case. Don't think I won't pull them out. Yeah, but I'll pull everything right now if I try to run. We got, you know, and after that season, I got a workout with Grand Rapids Rampage at Arena League, Arena 1, and end up going to play Arena 1 for 2 years, and she won a championship, Iron Man of the game. I was like, man, it was good, but it gave me my professional fix for football, and then because after the championship, I tell you how it is. We played the championship in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and after we won it, I got in my car that night after the game and drove back to Austin that night, and I told God, I said, Coach, I am done. I retire. I'm through playing. So I played 3 years of indoor / arena football, 2 years arena football, and then 1 year of indoor IPFL. I had a blast, but caught a whole bunch of balls and, you know, a whole bunch of touchdowns. Shoot, arena football, I played receiver, DB, linebacker, played everything. See, that's how you stay on a team in arena football. You playing multiple positions. I started out because with IPFL, I was just an offensive specialist. So I just played the moving receiver. Then when I got to the Arena League the first year, I went in as an offensive specialist. And I was like, no, I can be more valuable if I play more positions. And I was like, shoot, coach, y'all need a corner. And I became a two-way player. Once you're a two-way player, You can stay on the roster a little bit. Matter of fact, that the year we was getting, the year we went to the championship, I actually got put on waivers because I always had. I don't know if y'all remember in college, I had hamstring problems, so like just imbalance in my hamstring. So I pulled my hamstring quite a bit. I pulled them in college. I pulled them in when I played arena ball too. And I actually was getting ready to get waived. I got waived the year we won the championship, 2001. I got waived at the beginning of the year. And I didn't get picked up. So they brought me back. And then shoot, I was like, man, I got my body right and I was good then. But I had to gain a little bit of weight too, because I was playing linebacker too. I played the little Geo linebacker, a little weak linebacker. And so I was playing about 205 pounds. 5'9", 205.
So yeah, it's thick. Yeah, right. Might need to see a picture of that.
Yeah, I have a couple. I might find one. I'll shoot you one.
Send them over. Yeah.
Wow. I was playing linebacker and receiver and DB.
So you started off trying to lose weight, and then you end your career having to gain weight. I think that's pretty funny.
Yeah. And yeah. And probably a lot of it was, some of it was having to play, those positions, and some of it was the train. It was a little bit harder to train too, because I was taking to go play in Michigan. I was still working at LBJ. I was still coaching at LBJ in Austin. So I was still working at my high school and coaching during the fall. And then in the spring, when the season started, I would take a leave of absence and go up and play for the summer. So, or spring and summer, I go and play football spring and summer. So to try to stay in shape, in supreme shape, that's probably why I was pulling my hamstrings too when I first got to camp, because I wasn't in condition to do it. I do as much condition I could and work out and all that type of stuff, but I was working full time at the time too.
Yeah, it's tough.
I used training camp to get in shape, and it almost got me cut. Is what almost happened.
Yeah, once you lose that structure, it's hard to kind of stay motivated and stay on a program. You don't have those regular built-in practices and training programs. It's got every year got a little harder and harder.
Right. And people don't understand it. It's on your own. Coach making you do nothing, then you got to go do it. But I think the thing that kind of kept me above water, kept me ahead of the game is that my focus on once I got in camp. I was so locked in what was going on. Like guys, you go practice and yeah. So when you playing professional, you get so much downtime and off time, and they were going, man, let's go out, let's go do this. I'm like, no, I'm in this playbook, and shoot, arena playbook is about 2 pages. So you got a stack route and you got somebody running a post route. That's about it. So it wasn't a whole bunch of playbook you had to learn, but I was dialed in to just doing. I said, I got to make this team. I'm not coming way up here to make these teams, and not make these teams. So
you have to get an apartment and stuff while you're there, or they have a team housing.
Yeah, they gave us team housing. So we had team housing, get your salary. And during that time, that's when arena kind of, broke on, start paying people a little bit. So we make some okay summer money. I'm like, shit, I'm making a little old summer money right there. That ain't bad. Because originally, it was just $200 a game for a while. IPFL they still only paid us $200 a game in IPFL. And then we got the arena, and you start getting salaries. And then that's kind of how arena football got priced out, because they started getting, I don't know, y'all remember in 2001, Elway, he bought a team. I forgot who he purchased some stock in the league or a team or whatever the case may be. And the NFL really started trying to incorporate, and they started having contracts. So we were signing contracts at the time, and they, it's giving quarterbacks all this money to play. Yeah. She was, was making money. I think I ended up making I made about $56,000 in that summer. Yeah, so
season. Wow.
With one season with bonuses and all that stuff. So I'm like, shoot, nice. That's pretty good little old summer check right there. But what you like to do, and you go around town, everybody giving you stuff free. So it was all good.
Can we go back to Iowa for a quick second? Can you talk about the Buck Naked Posse, or is that off limits?
You have to be there. You have to. No, I'm just playing. That's that was our name. I don't know if they probably still don't, they probably don't use that name anymore. But Harold Jasper came up with that name, man. He said, you know, we're gonna be Butt Naked Posse. And that's the name just derived from us. Our whole deal was we was gonna strip the DBs down. And you know, I was say we're gonna strip them down and get after them. You know, we're gonna be the best on the field. And so we broke it down to Butt Naked Posse. And that's how we played. You know, you think about it, we didn't have a whole bunch of big receivers. You know, we weren't no tall guys, but we played hard. We from blocking to catching the right. Everybody had pretty decent hands to go get open and make plays when plays came to us. So that was our moniker. We gonna strip them down. It wasn't nothing super. It wasn't like no party or nothing we went to and came back and was Butt Naked Posse. No, it was our mindset. That's what we was gonna do to these DVs. We was gonna strip them down. They're gonna be out there naked for the game over with.
Was King Hawk a Buck Naked Posse guy or no?
Yeah, he Butt Naked Posse. No question. No question. He Butt Naked Posse. Yeah.
I thought it was you guys
he had to get in the
huddle DVs
and break it down. Huh?
I thought you guys were be the ones naked, so that was confusing. Now it's the DBs that are naked. Okay.
We strip
Beat the pants off them. Yeah, got it. All
right. A better way of beating the pants off of them. King Hawk had to come. He had to get in there and break it down for us too sometime.
Yeah.
But naked on 3. That's how it is. That's how we said it.
I do remember that.
But naked on 3. 1, 2, 3. But naked Posse.
So I think we had a lot of people that were characters on our team. Who do you think was the funniest? Like who is the top? I mean, Harold Jasper is a character. Like he was a funny dude too, right? Like so, who would you say is the top of that?
We had a lot of. You got, and it's years. I mean, it's different years of them. I think D Gill was hilarious. He was funny.
Really?
Yeah, Gill was funny. Gill still is funny. He's still funny to this day. Who else? Them the younger ones. PA, like Players Atkins, he funny. Yeah, Tavian was kind of funny in a quiet way. He was kind of slick funny. You had to catch him, he get you. Willie Guy was funny. He's a hilarious cat. And an older guy, Ryan Terry. Ryan Terry was hilarious. He always kind of crack jokes on each other, you know, on people. He always went after people. So he was real hilarious. So them be the ones I can pull out of the box right now with that. Right off the head. It was hilarious.
I can remember training tables where you guys would just like hold court, and it was like it was the most entertaining thing to watch.
Yeah.
I don't know if the coaches like Donnie P, I think, was not the happiest about it, but yeah. We loved it.
Be serious, and we just going in.
Oh yeah, just going off. Yeah, it was funny. Just like nonstop entertainment for us. It was awesome.
Yeah, that's how it was. Just all the time. Just all the time. And it didn't matter who it was. If you got in the mix, you got in the wavelength, you could get got. And that's just how it was. That's how it was. Lloyd Bickham, he was another one. He'd get after you too. Big Lloyd. He was funny.
Yeah, right, for sure. You were talking about the kids that you're working with today and that. So what advice would you give, or what advice do you give athletes today? Like, going into the program, especially with everything changing, NIL and some of these other pieces, like what are you telling kids these days?
Man, I'm really, I stay away from that if they ask. I really try to talk to kids about themselves. So, my focus really is about attitude. What is your attitude like? And really developing your attitude and how you treat people, and really, having a Christ-like attitude, to be honest with you, because a lot of these kids, they, in this climate, they so selfish, and to a point, people are starting to say you have to be, because everything is about NIL, getting the next thing, doing this, doing that. So you're losing that sense of team or sense of me caring for somebody else. It was more important for me to see you punt the ball, but boom a 80, see you boom an 80-yard punt. got me more excited than me catching the 80-yard pass or 50-yard pass, because I care more about what my teammate was doing, and then just trying to get kids to understand that's how winning is built. Is a different thing. So I really talk to kids about having that type of attitude where I can give away from self, get away from myself and understand that I want to serve others. I spent my whole career, coaching and teaching or whatever the case may be, from I call it a servant leadership role, where I really want to make sure until I am unable to give, stop giving to someone, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So my whole life was out there. I played like that. I truly believe I played for my teammates. It wasn't about me. I gave glory to God. It was for God's glory, and it was for, make sure my teammates were in the right place, and we won. That's just what I was about, and whatever accolade I can get out of it, boom, I got it, and if I didn't get it, so what, and so that's what I really talk to kids about their attitude. Make sure your attitude is right, on the right path. And it sounds cliche or it sounds simple, but it's important, because a lot of kids' attitudes are not right. I'm sitting at the game tonight, man. So I give you a prime example. I'm sitting at the game tonight, and I hear dad hollering at us, don't worry about it, son, because it was a play where quarterback missed. Actually, quarterback was scrambling for his life for one, and he done throw to the kid, and the kid's open, but the quarterback couldn't see him. He's just trying to get rid of the ball for his life. He couldn't see him, and dad is hollering from the stands, don't worry about it, son. Keep your head up. We know you can. So they're hearing all this stuff come in their heads from parents, coaches, media. All this different stuff is hitting them. And so they're so confused. What am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to be about me. It's about me, but it's not when you're playing a team sport. Go play tennis. If you want to play an individual sport, play tennis. People used to say track, but track is still a team sport when you run a relays. But go play, this is a team sport, and life is team. When you got jobs, you got corporations, you're doing all this stuff, you're doing it with somebody. You married, you're doing it with somebody. How many, I've been married 26 years, and my marriage is different every day, because because we change. Everybody change every day. Your wife change every day. So you got to be ready to adapt, and your attitude have to be right. You have to have, and I really believe that. I believe that your attitude got to be right. If it's not, a lot can go wrong. If you have a selfish attitude, you may get what you want on the front end, but in the long term, you'll be a lonely, selfish person, probably, a lot of times. But that's my soapbox.
I think that's partly, what they recruited at Iowa. They were looking for guys that team players, good athletes, but also because we're going to probably be less talented to some of the teams we played, but you can win with good attitude, teamwork, doing the right things, doing the assignments, doing the basics.
Yeah.
An advantage.
I go back to that 2001 team, Ringer team. We weren't the best team in the league, but we liked each other. We played for each other. And that was one of the craziest things. Clint Dalzell is like one of the all-time leading quarterbacks in the league. We ended up picking him up, and he came in. He was almost like the offensive coordinator. He called his own plays and everything. So, but he came in. He said, "I need 7 of y'all to catch 50 balls," and we like, well, so we catch 50 balls, then what? We'll win the championship. And we bought into that hook, line, and sinker. We bought into to his division he had of 7 guys catching, and we had 8 guys catch 50 balls that year, matter of fact. The kid, Sedrick Shaw, played at Southern Miss. He was our offensive specialist that year. And we're going through the year, we got the best record in the league, but matter of fact, we get through the semifinal game, and ABC flies to Nashville, because Nashville is playing in their semifinal game against Orlando. They assumed we were going to lose against Indiana in our semifinal game. They were already going to be set up in Nashville for the championship game down there, because Nashville had won already. So they were set up in Nashville. We was like, no, they finna have to pack out, let them bring that up here to Grand Rapids. They not coming there. Okay, we're not losing this game. But they go down and so we're getting as we get through the playoffs, and they kind of interview our receivers, our receiving core, because we all had 50 or more balls. So it was like, shoot, Clinton spreading the ball around like like he said he was. We get this interview, and the reporter got there, was like, what do y'all call each other? Well, at that time, I bought a 99 Denali. I had a Denali truck, so they called me Denali because, again, I was about 205. I played linebacker and I played DB and receiver. So they called me Denali. Everybody, what's your stuff? And then we get to Terrell, and I tell everybody, I say, no, that his name is 92%. And it was like, everybody kind of looking around, what's 92%? I say, he's 92% our offense, and we the other 8%. So get used to it. And we bought into that, and we used to break on. We was like, let's go 92%. And we expected that because he got all the, offense specialists get all the balls. He got about 92% of the offense. I said, man, but we didn't care. We was like, man, we're gonna, Clint wanted us to get 50. We all got our 50 balls, 50 plus balls. He was gonna get everything. He had 150 balls or whatever case he had that year. And we go 14-3, win the championship, and nobody expected us to be in the championship because we wasn't the best team in the league. Yeah, Nashville, Indiana, Orlando, they had the big time stars of arena football. Man, we crushed all them dudes. Crushed all of them, but because we'll go out and eat together as a team. Every Monday we practiced, and we went to Church's Chicken afterwards. I know y'all finna think we was finna go to some steakhouse, but no, we went to Church's Chicken and sat in Church's Chicken. The whole football team, we sitting there kicking it with the quarterback. The whole offense actually, we kicking it with the quarterback. But that was we bonded like that. And another team that was selfless, And we got some good players on it, and you can tell. You go through camp, y'all been seeing that before in these professional, when y'all play professional ball. You get in camp, this guy's way more talented than you that should make the team, and they get cut because they not doing stuff right or whatever the case may be. Then you start getting the right fit of people, and you get the right fit of people, the right people with the right attitudes, and it's crazy what can happen in life, that's a testament to that. We won that championship. Shoot, you think about it. Think about our bowl game at the Alamo Bowl. I seen you Alamo Bowl or the Sun Bowl our junior year. Same thought process. Y'all, you remember all they talked about that whole Alamo Bowl was Byron Hanspard. Byron Hanspard. The whole week was Byron Hanspard. Like Sedrick had never played running back for Iowa. Like we didn't have no running backs to play. Like we didn't even run the ball. It was almost like I guess they thought we would run and shoot. Actually, Texas Tech was the run and shoot team. They just had Byron Hanspard and shoot. So I don't know if y'all remember the whole focus. We was gonna make sure Cedric got off that game. It wasn't. They were not. He was not gonna have more yards than Cedric, and it was kind of our whole. Even the coaches kind of had the game plan dialed like that, and shoots. And Cedric had a good game, and shoot, that was one of we out there blocking like our life depended on it because. But the attitude had to be right. I could have been in there talking about, no, I'm at home. You need to throw me the ball. Because I got 90 people down there to watch me.
Was that the game that Mitchell's mom had passed away too? I think that was another huge driver of that one.
Yeah, it was. There's another drive too. We take the decals out the helmets. And that just took it over the wall right there. It was no way we was losing that game. That.
Yeah. I was like, there's no way we can leave here without one.
Because that's my boy too. Y'all heard from Mark?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's my fishing buddy.
Yes.
Yes.
He took a lot of people fishing and hunting.
Yes, my senior year. They had the little fishing pond in Iowa City. And my senior year, I had 8 o'clock taekwondo class. By the way, I am a yellow belt in taekwondo. If you don't know, it starts off as a white belt. You graduate, you pass the class, you get your yellow belt. So I'm still a yellow belt from 1996. As far as I leave that class, me and Mitch go to the pond and go catch bass the rest of the day until it's time to come to workouts. My whole senior year.
Wow.
My class.
Wait, we're talking about the ponds that were completely covered with moss? I know what you're talking about. Was it nearby?
It was a little, I don't know. It was a little tank that he had that they had. He used to take me to. It was theirs. It was a private pond though. There wasn't no creek or nothing. Cause I caught the biggest bass I've ever caught in my life at that pond, and I threw it back. Yep, and we used to go every day. We went every day. Actually, it was Monday, Wednesday. We went Monday, Wednesday, and it was actually about 2 days, but we went every week because it was whatever that class day was. I had that 8 o'clock class. That was it. I was only taking 6 hours, and I was in that class and going fishing all day. We was out there, but you talking about just tranquil and we just, me and him just out there enjoying life, just out there on the pond, talking. That's the type of stuff you get. That's the type of stuff you get in Iowa. When you become teammates. Neither one of you ever thought I was doing that with him. Don't nobody know that. This is my first time telling somebody that. Other than Mark. Me and Mark used to go out there every day, every morning, and fish. Oh. Just throw it in. If we caught something, we may not. If we did, we just went fish.
Yep. That's amazing. I think I'm a yellow belt too. I took that class. So if I passed the class that was a yellow belt, I might be too.
I actually got my yellow belt though. You had to get a yellow. They passed out the yellow. You passed the class and you got the yellow belt. You had to test for it. Did you test to get your yellow belt?
I think so.
You had to if you took the class.
Yeah. So yeah, I passed the class. So yeah, I think I do.
You got you a yellow belt then. You're nice.
Yellow belt. All right. I'm in good company. I like it.
Yes, we are. We are Taekwondo yellow belts. That's about it.
I don't think you guys are gonna make it to black belt at this rate.
No.
I got some time.
Yeah, we got a little time. We go do it.
I mean, don't count us out yet.
Okay.
What was the transition like? You were talking about going fishing like with Mark Mitchell, which is a wild story for us to hear. What was the transition going from Austin to Iowa City? Like, were you just like, wow, this is just next level different, or you were kind of, you got plugged in and it felt like home, or like, what was that like?
We kind of made it home, because it was a lot different. A lot different culture, different everything. You just like get used to it, and what made it fun was that our teammates made it fun for one, made it easier. Our freshman year, I got to the point where I was talking about going home. I wanted to go home because it wasn't playing. We sitting in the dorm. If we didn't travel, we sitting back at the dorm and watching the game, and all this stuff got frustrating. But you just got to, persevere and get through it. And the transition was a lot different, being away. I've been at home, my mom and dad, all my life, and then here I am on my own, in the dorm rooms. And once we got off campus, everybody got out to Pheasant Ridge, the community. We got out to the community. It kind of, by that time, by the time we got out there, it was actually easy then because we was used to being in Iowa City. But my freshman year was tough. I had, my grades wasn't good. I was struggling to pass. I was on probation my first 2 years. I was on academic probation just because it was different. The classroom stuff was different climate, and I was so worried about playing football till it just took a while to get caught up, to get on track, not get caught up, to get on track with what was going on. The social life and all that was cool. I was fine with that. I was always kind of outgoing, enjoyed people and parties and all that type of stuff. So that was easy. That was the fun part. That going to class, and I would go to class. Now, shoot, I might not did the work, but I go to class. Like I didn't like all them lectures. We had a lot, as freshmen, you had a lot of lecture classes where you sit in these big old classes and a dude lecturing, and you got to take a test. You got to take these tests and study these notes and take a test. It wasn't my niche. So.
There's some hard classes, those just trying to weed people out. It just make it as hard as possible. I know the super academia people will do well, but it's hard just for average students like us to acclimate with our schedules. And that first year for me was tough too.
I still need to take Western civilization. I think I still got to take that class. Shoot, Man, hey, I tell you, one of my brightest moments was when I forgot that lady name, but my advisor called me in, and I was going for my little yearly or quarterly meeting or whatever the case may be, and she walked in and say, "Demo," she kind of bust out in tears. "Demo, you did it." I said, "What you talking about?" "You can graduate. You got 120, you got 124. And we just both, just shouting pretty much. I was like, "What?" I had no idea, that I was that. I mean, I knew I was close, but I didn't know I was ready. The classes were tough, man. I took a lot of lecture classes that was rough on, but we had, there was some good teachers. We had some good teachers. And I don't know, I took a class with a dude named Michael Teague in the sports science area. And he was sharp, man. And I needed those type of teachers anyway, type of teachers that didn't take my shit, pretty much. And he's like, "Man, I'm not passing you. You're gonna earn this grade, you're gonna do this. This is what you got to do in this class. I'm gonna help you, but this is what you're gonna do." And my T stayed on my butt, man. But he was direct. And there was a lot of athletes in that class that and he stayed on their butt. He told us all straight up, "I don't give a damn about you being a football player. And he was like this, you gonna pass this class, but you're gonna do this, you're gonna do it the right way, but he stayed on and he taught us too. It wasn't just like giving us some stuff. And that was kind of my first action of a teacher actually teaching. And I can go into my Spanish story too. I can give y'all Spanish. Spanish is kind of funny too, because I took Spanish 1. We had to take the 2 years of Spanish, so you had to take 1 and 2. I take Spanish 1. It's pretty easy, so because they still talking some English in there. So I get both semesters of Spanish 1 out the way. Then I go Spanish 2. I fail it in the regular season. I mean, during the school year, so I had to take it in summer school. Remember, I told you guys I had to spend a lot of summers in Iowa City because I was on probation quite a bit. So until my junior year. After that, I was good after that. But early in the freshman and sophomore years, I was having to stay in Iowa City. But I take Spanish and fail it the first time with Spanish 2 and fail it. So I got to take it in summertime. Well, getting in summer, and I wish I knew this lady's name, but I get in the summer class, and the Spanish teacher is absolutely gorgeous. And I'm like, it's on. I'm gonna pass this class. I get a B+ in the class, man. I just failed the class now. I got a B+ in Spanish 2. And in Spanish 2, you don't speak any English. You go in day 1. They tell you day 1, we speak in Spanish. We speak in Spanish, you write in Spanish. There's no English concepts in here. And that was my problem. I kind of turned it off in the record, and the teacher wasn't, I don't even know if it was I don't know if it was a male or a female the first year, but that summer, that little pretty Spanish teachers in that class. Like, shit, I'm paying attention to what she had to say.
Sit in the front row.
I was getting tutoring and everything, just so I could see her. See, she didn't even know it either. She didn't know I liked her or nothing. I just had a student teacher crush and passed her class. Nobody knows.
Whatever works.
This is brand new record stuff. Nobody knows that.
Wow.
Ain't told nobody.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
Crazy. I passed the class because of the teacher, because of how she looked.
She might have been responsible for turning the whole 96 season around, keeping you eligible.
Might have my butt in Kilgore Junior College somewhere back in Texas. I remember, Coach Fry tell you that in a minute, man. You coming? If you come in my office, I'm sending you back to Austin with a bag of apples and a bus ticket. I said, you gotta worry about me coming in there no more. Shoot. But yeah, I passed that class.
I vividly remember, like, going to class one day after working out, the 5 a.m.s in the morning, right? So like in the off season, we had like the 5 a.m. workouts.
Yeah.
You got to be up at like 4 o'clock to get there, and it's cold and whatever else. And so you go work out really hard for a couple hours. So I had like at 8 o'clock, right? Or whatever, it's 8:30. And like, it's one of those big lecture halls, and I'm kind of sitting up towards the back because I was like, that student, right? I wasn't down in the front, like interacting with the teacher or any of that stuff. And so like I could hear people start kind of laughing, and I was like, oh, that's kind of strange. And so what had happened was I had fallen asleep. It's like I was drooling, right? I was like down like this, and I just was kind of like drooling on myself, and I hear people beside me laughing, and I was like, what? And I kind of came to it. And I was like, oh man. I was like,
those are rough.
Yeah, had their football sweats on. People are like, oh man, look at this cat. Look at this cat right here. Dude.
Let them jocks. They don't do nothing but sleep and want to play.
Yeah, exactly. Just show up and just go to sleep. And I was like,
that was hard after those workouts.
Yeah, if they only knew, shoot, y'all get up and do it with us.
Especially those years we didn't go to the bowl game, right? That was just like, whoa. That's when you got tested. You're just like, it's pitch black, and you're like, man, the coaches have just got an extra fire in their belly because we hadn't gone to a bowl game that year. It was like,
it's a longer time. That's a long off season for sure. It's a long off season.
Yeah, it added like an extra month or whatever to it, right? It was just like started. Yeah. They were like, all right, as soon as you guys get back, we're starting this. We're like, like, we will not tie Purdue ever again.
No. I know it. Shoot, did we play them anymore? Was that it?
I think that was.
Or did we play them at home one more time?
I think that was it. I think we just played in 2 years.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So you got to Wisconsin through Bielema. I'm assuming, was he your connection in? He was coach there at the time?
Yeah. That was Alvarez's last year.
Okay.
As the head coach there. You talking about a great coach, head coach. Alvarez, he's real deal. Yeah, I mean, he still a lot of head stuff in him too. But he was his own man. He did his own way. But good dude, man. I enjoyed working for him, And then of course working for Brett. Brett was cool. I was at Lancaster High School up in the Dallas area coaching, and I used to take kids. Actually, they ended up signing the offensive lineman when he was at Kansas State as a DC. So I used to go up there and work the camps all the time and take kids up there. Wow. So working the camps and just talk with B, and I was like, Brett, man, I really like to get an opportunity to coach college football at some point. That's one of my goals. And he's like, oh, he kind of kept it. He just kept it on the docket, and he got the job at Wisconsin as a DC and was there for a year or two, I believe, and I ended up calling me. And he's like, man, I have a analyst spot that's about to open up. Would you be interested? I know you said you want to get in college coaching. Here's your opportunity. And I was like, man, I should appreciate it. I'm on the next thing smoking. And I ended up going up there, man, and working for him for a season. And coached that 2005 season. That's the year we go down and beat Auburn in the what's that bowl? The Capital One Bowl. We beat Auburn in that bowl game and had a good year that year. And I had a blast, man. We worked as an analyst. He gave me an opportunity. One time I spoke to the defense and about when we played Michigan. I had a little pot there. I said, Brett, this is how cool he was, because he was all inclusive. Anytime you came with something and you was trying to show that you could do what he was asking you to do and all those type of things. He was good with it. So I went to him, I was like, B, man, I have a presentation I want to give the defense, if you don't mind, because I'm listening to meetings all week. And at this time, I was talking about how Michigan did all these shifts and motions and all this stuff, and it was going down like that. He's like, oh man, this be cool. So I showed him the presentation. He's like, oh, okay, I see you. Yeah, that'd be great. Go ahead and do it. So the presentation was a Holly Berry picture. I had a Holly Berry picture, and I had it posted up on the wall. And because the whole thing, about their shifts and stuff, it looked all pretty and fancy, but with all these motions and shifts. But all it is power, all they running is inside zone. They running the same little 3 plays. They just dressing it up a whole bunch of different ways. So I had like 3 different pictures of Halle Berry. Like, everybody love Halle Berry, right? And they like, yeah. The kids going out, yeah. Y'all see how beautiful she is, right? He go 3 different looks of Halle Berry, right? I say that's Michigan offense right there. They got all these different looks of how pretty it look. But it's still the same Halle Berry. It's still the same inside zone. And they we beat the brakes off Michigan that year. But he was, just to have that, have that little thing, it kind of topped off what he had been telling them all week, and what he's been, preaching to them all week going into that week. And so me to be part of the installation speech, I was like, man, that's cool. But he gave me an opportunity, and I took a job at Arkansas Monticello, a D2 school, the next year. He sent a recommendation for me and all that, man. Nothing but a blessing. I have nothing to say about that man whatsoever. Nothing bad to say about him whatsoever. He took care of me. Shoots. Got me in college coaching, man. I coached different schools, but I coached college football for 12 years and high school for the other 13, 14, or whatever the case may be. About 24, 25 years worth of high school football or between high school football, college, and high school athletic administration. So it's been good, been a blessing. Now I'm working with FCA, Fellowship of Christian Athletes, and mentoring coaches and athletes, man. So I can't complain one bit. But that, again, that's one of our own giving back to us, man. He put so many people on too. That's the thing. He put people on, Kerry Cooks, people like that, players Atkins. He gave all us the opportunity to do something. So that's all you can ask. You got to take it and run with it and do what you can do with it. And in hindsight, I wish I wouldn't have left so quick, but I was eager to try to be a coach at the college level. But nothing bad to say about him. That's for sure.
It's easy to look back and second guess those things too, right? At the time, like the decision to make at the time.
Yeah, it is. But then you look at it, you use a little wisdom, you realize, man, it's the path that you're on. So the path you're on comes with mistakes, and it comes with triumph sometimes. So you got to be able to endure that hardness. That's what I've learned to do. I can't go back on it. I believe I've done things the right way at least, and had the opportunity to do whatever. A lot of things I wanted to do. Still doing that shit. I'm like I say, we 50 is young now. 50 is new 25 now.
Yes, that's right.
So we're still riding.
Oh yeah, a lot of years left.
A lot of years left. Yeah. So who knows?
Is there anybody you'd like to see on the podcast?
Man, it's probably a lot of people I like to see on the podcast. I talk to Sedrick all the time. Y'all got to get him on at some point. But who would I like to see? Actually, I like to see Timmy D. Can I tell y'all Timmy D's story before we roll out?
I think we have to have one on every podcast.
Any good stories you got?
Teammates, because he's come up in all the other ones.
You gotta have Timmy. Y'all know Timmy D used to jump up out of windows at Slater and all that old stuff, right?
We're hearing some more stories about jumping in.
Yeah,
Eli pool and stuff, and jumping off people's roofs.
Yeah, he jump off anything. But one summer I actually get to go home. This is my junior, it's around junior year, senior, whatever the case may be. I ended up going home and leaving my car there. I had I don't know if y'all remember, I had a Daihatsu Charade. It was red. Had 2 10s in the back, 10 speakers, Big boom. I had my boom in the back. So, of course, I'm listening. I got rap music, R&B music, that type of stuff in it. But I leave my car. Tim's going to babysit my car while I'm gone to Texas for the summer. So it was a summer, spring. I can't remember, it was summer, spring break. But he keeps my car. And he's like, I'll take care of it and watch it for you and all that stuff. I say, cool. You got it. Take care. I know you got me. So he takes care of my car. Well, I get back. I'm used. I jump in my car, and normally I turn my radio down and I'll turn it up as I'm driving and where I want the frequency or whatever. Well, I get in the car and turn the car on, and it's like Metallica just blasting out the speakers, just boom, boom, boom. And I don't even know what song it was. It's just heavy metal rock. And it's just, I'm like, what actually happened to my car while I was gone? Ain't no telling what happened to my car while I was gone. And I was like, TD, what's up, man? why this music? Why this loud music? And it was just so funny because it was a totally different atmosphere in the car that Tim kept for me for the week or whatever, for the spring break or whatever it was we went home for. And I was like, man, this is crazy. But those type of things we got into back then. I leave my car with my teammate because I knew he was gonna take care of it. Now, I didn't know he was gonna have heavy metal coming up out the speakers when I got in there. You know, heavy metal didn't get no play in my ride. Like, he had to blast it. So, like, man, you wild, you wild.
You have
man.
no idea where he drove that.
I have no idea. Ain't no telling where that car been, who it's been with, what was in it. Shoot. But he had it.
We'll get him on for sure. Yeah.
That's awesome. What any other stories about anybody else? Like Coach Fry or anybody? Anything's funny?
The coach Fry was about the bag of apples. That was the only thing funny because with that, the crazy thing about it, what kind of podcast is it? We can say what we want to say.
You can say what you want. Yeah.
We got caught. We used to go to I forgot the name of the liquor store. It was kind of like a warehouse, if I remember right. I forgot the name of it. But we used to go to this liquor store and buy liquor. I mean, that's what we got our liquor for the weekend or whatever the case may be to go drink. Well, we all, it'd be all D-Rob, T9, our whole crew, everybody, we all going to get this liquor. Gil, Shaw, all of us, we going to get to this place that we went every weekend. The whole team, I know y'all was up in there. Y'all know the name of it. I know y'all was in there at one point. I forgot the name. It was a warehouse though. So we go in there to get the liquor that we normally buy. And for whatever reason that day, we decided we was gonna steal some liquor too. So we go in there and we buy liquor, but we actually we stole some too. All right, so we went up we were taking trips, so we're kind of going back in and doing all that stuff. So we end up stealing liquor. Well, we get caught. I mean, they catch us, but they don't tell on us then. They call Coach Fry. They call campus police or whatever, and then they get hold of Coach Fry. So, and they got us in interrogation there. Coach Fry got us in interrogation. So they bring us in, bring us in one by one when they catching us, and you got to kind of tell this and do all this. We don't know who told them, but it comes to the fact that we all end up having a part in it and getting in trouble. And then we go, you go again, that's when you go into Coach Fry's office. We go in his office again and he give you this story. He's like, that's what he told me. He's like, Demo, now I know your mama, your mama don't put up with this. And I told y'all before, I don't have any problem giving you these bag of apples and putting you on a bus ride back to Texas. If I ever see you in here, and he was serious, but you sit back, if I ever have to bring you back in here for something like this, you going home. And for me, that's all it took. I mean, because my daddy told me when he dropped me off that I couldn't come home until I graduated. So that was the other thing. So I couldn't go home. I wouldn't know where to go. If I go home and get beat up by something, ain't no telling what's gonna happen.
Oh man!
But Coach Fry was
pressure.
Yeah, but he knew, he caught us and shoots. I think D-Rob he stole the whole. We all stole something at the liquor store. But we bought something at the liquor store the same day. That's what's crazy about it. We bought some stuff and we stole some stuff. D-Rob, Sedrick, somebody had to tell you the story. Because like T-Night was with us that night too. Because T-Night was kind of like, he was like the ghost dude. He'll be with you, and all of a sudden he's gone. He just disappeared. You don't see him for another week. We didn't see him to the game. You don't even see him at practice sometimes. You see him at the game. It's like T-Night just disappeared on you. I'm like, what? That's why his last name was Night, I think. He'll be with you, and then all of a sudden he's gone for a whole week. So, and he was implicated in that somehow. But I think, it was crazy. It was all in it. We knew we couldn't get in trouble no more. We're gonna get sent home behind that. But the irony of it is that here we are in a store that we always go to, and we stealing in the store that we always go to, that we bought liquor in the same day. So it's just, And that's the stupid stuff that we did in college. Is really what it amounted to. You know, you do stupid stuff and just having fun, man. And we made sure we had fun. Somebody was a teak or in the teak fraternity or went to the teak's party and got into a fight. Went to a frat party. They went to the teak's party. I know exactly what frat it was, the teaks. And they came back to the Pheasant Ridge and told us, and the whole football team went to the thing. I know all my partners, we went over there because I remember Tim was with us. I don't know if it was Tim fighting or I don't know if it was somebody else. Like, I don't know, might have been Derek, probably Derek, or Derek would have gotten in some fights like that.
We just had him on. He didn't mention that part.
Did you?
Yeah.
It might not have been him though. I don't know who it was, but somebody came back and all the black players went and rolled over at the Teak's place. We beating on the door. Don't know what we getting into. And we going over there, but it was behind one of our white brothers, one of our white players. I don't know who it was though. I can't remember that. We got to find out who that was.
We'll find that story. Yeah.
We went over there and we're trying to bust down the house over there. It's just. That's some crazy stories. You can't come between the brothers.
Yeah.
Between my brothers, you know, it don't matter who it was. We coming, and that's exactly what happened. But that's some of them good. That's some good old days, man. I cherish those. I cherish them. That's for sure. That's for sure. See, we got a chance to break bread a couple of last year or so, and see, man, that's monumental to me, you know.
Very cool. Yeah. It was fun.
Definitely.
Me and Sedrick drove back to Iowa City in 2019, the Penn State game that we won.
Wow.
And that was my first time back in Penn State. Got me back in Iowa City since 2014. I actually interviewed for a job at University of Iowa in 14. But that was the last time I had been back to a game or seen the game atmosphere was 2019 from 1996.
Long time. A lot changed, but not really.
Totally different. Yeah, it's totally different though. Totally different atmosphere. But still the same Iowa pride, the fan pride, and all that was still the same. That was one of those that was one of those things about Iowa too. The support, you know, no matter where we went, our crowd sold it out primarily, and you know they always travel well. And you find folks down in Austin, man, as Iowa people, and you say some names, they're like, oh yeah, yo man. So they love some Iowa football now. I do too. I'm mad every Saturday. Shoot, watching Iowa football. Don't be teed off. And we lost the Iowa. I told somebody the other day, I say, man, when I played at Iowa, we didn't even take that Iowa trophy out the trophy case because we knew it wasn't going to them. So it just stayed at our place. If we so happen to lose to them for whatever reason, we'll just mail it to them. We wasn't even taking it. We weren't putting it on the bench. We wasn't taking it to Ames. Cyhawk Trophy. I don't even think we even knew what a Cyhawk Trophy was because we had it so long.
Yeah, it wasn't even talked about. There was no mention of that thing because it just sat there for a decade or two.
Yeah, we just
it was 15 straight by the time we graduated, something in a row. Yeah, so
they put that in a storage vault that nobody goes into. Now they got to bring it out every year and set it on the stand.
Give it away too. Jeez,
it's crazy. There was some good times, man. You two boys, y'all some bad boys too, man. That was y'all the real deal. I enjoyed it. I ain't never seen shit. You look at Nick. Nick go down there and he'll punt and go down there and make the tackle. And be mad if me and Tim didn't make the tackle.
You're trying to beat you down there.
I'm trying to beat you down there and make the tackle. Like,
I was misplaced. I should have been somewhere else.
Yeah. There was like, Nick, you're the safety. Get back here.
You're the safety. You're safety. You're not the gunner.
You're like, get back. Play defense. Play safety. I'm like, okay. Yeah, it was a great experience. I loved having you as a teammate. It's great to catch up, and you haven't changed in many years, so it's awesome to have you on.
You too, man. It's always good seeing you guys, man. It's always good. Y'all keep doing what you're doing, man. It's powerful. It's good stuff.
I was gonna say, yeah, it's been fun so far. We've kind of Derek Derek was crazy. He came in hot, so that's entertaining.
Did it?
We got Matt Sherman on Monday, which is gonna be exciting, I think. RT next Friday.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're getting people are excited about it.
Granquist, we just had Granquist and Slutzker.
Yeah. Y'all said RT?
Yeah, RT I think
Next week.
is like next weekend maybe. Yeah.
That'd be a good one. That'd be a good one. He was one of the big time comedians for us, you know, because he was our barber too for so long. So
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
He's cutting hair. Him and then when he left, Players became our barber. And Players had them toe up clippers. He had them clippers that didn't really have a guard on it. They cut the back of your neck. And he's sitting there talking about, man, stop crying. Don't worry about it. You know.
I was the barber too, but no, you guys didn't trust me.
I didn't know you was the barber.
I used to cut 4 or 5 guys' hair every night in the dorms, like on the first floor. Like, oh yeah, throw out a chair and just like should have charged people for it, man. I could have been
make some money. Shoot, make some money. We get that haircut and go get it. Shoot, because Players was our barber when everybody's out at Pheasant Ridge, and Ryan was the barber in the dorms. That's how me and Sedrick used to do is play PlayStation. We was on that college football and NCAA.
I think I dormed right next to you. We had a place right next to you. Yeah, we heard you guys all night, like celebrating, scoring, talking.
We'd be up absolutely all night, all night long. Me.
Like, I don't think they're gonna make it to class tomorrow.
All night. And class came second to that. I'm telling you, straight up. If a season was about to end and we had like a game, we get to the bowl game, like, man, that class might not have made it. We might not have made it to that class. I'm telling you. We were playing that PlayStation all night. And it got so bad. When we moved out in our first apartment, when me, D-Rob, and Sedrick moved out to our first apartment, it got so bad. Sedrick was addicted. Me and D-Rob was addicted. Because we had, that's when you had the season. So you had to keep your game play. You had to play your game so the next person play their game. Shoot, Sedrick play his game, then go back. He had his own PlayStation in his room. And he'd go play in his room all day. Sedrick never went to class. Like, shoot, you got to go to class sometime, man. He never went to class. He was always on the PlayStation. That PlayStation could have got us. PlayStation almost got us kicked out of school because we was playing it more than going to class. That's for sure. Y'all still get out and try to punt and kick?
No.
No.
Have you ever done it?
I used to travel around and do photo shoots. So we'd be like out in the field somewhere, and everybody's like, "Oh man, kick a couple." So I bang a couple out here and there, but that's been years ago.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 years ago, I screwed around for a little bit, working with some kids. I had to stretch a lot because I didn't want to tear up my whole leg.
It's too much.
I was playing flag football. Oh, like it was 2006 or something, and or whatever. Yeah, I can't remember the date. Whatever. It was years later that I tore my Achilles. So after that, I was kind of like, all right, I got to get like into old man stuff now. I can't be I think I'm 18 anymore and trying to sprint the line to play flag football and blow my leg out.
Yes, I'm taking up walking. I really enjoy walking.
Oh yeah, we live in the woods, so we hike quite a bit too. So yeah,
really?
I'm going for longevity. I just had a 2-year-old, so I'm like I gotta keep that train rolling for a while.
Are you you're in California?
Yeah, I'm right Mill Valley. It's right north of San Francisco, so like Muir Woods.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a great spot. It's like 150-foot redwoods in the front yard. Like, yeah, it's a pretty awesome area.
I always stay hiking, stay connected to the earth.
Yeah, it's great. Great hiking. I've mountain biked a little bit, but I've kept it on the road because I was like, I don't need to be this heavy going that fast downhill. It's like I surf some. It's fun. I love being on the water, so I get out and surf.
Okay. I spent 2 years in Montana, and I absolutely loved it.
Montana's great. Which town?
I was in Bozeman.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, so I worked in Montana State. I coached in Montana State for 2 seasons, and we stayed in the mountains. In Yellowstone. We started hiking, and I started really liking taking to walking and hiking and stuff like that now. So I go to a lot of trails around here, but I fell in love with it.
And you've moved more than Hurley has, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I call it the chitlin circuit is what it was. I was chasing the chitlin circuit for these little $40,000 jobs. I'm like, man, I'm going home. I'm through with this crap. It's time to go home. I tell you, I went to where I go. When I left LBJ as the head football coach in 2011, I went to Montana State, left Montana State, went to Stephen F. Austin State, came back down to Texas. Then I went to East Texas Baptist, Missouri Southern, then Mary Hardin Baylor. I was like, man, I'm going, that's it. I'm going to get in athletic administration and just do that for a little while. And I didn't really like it. So then that's where I'm at right now. I mean, that's why I'm doing what I'm doing now, which is, some ministerial work now. So, which I absolutely love, but I didn't like being behind the office with them dignitaries trying to call all these shots. So, but you talking a 7-8 year span of being somewhere different every year, and it's just you chasing and hoping you get the big time job and having success, but then coach retires, coach get fired, coach move on, whatever the case may be, and you on the next move, it gets tiresome after a while, and you're doing more work than the big boys are doing, which is crazy. You got to do the recruiting, you got to do the coaching, you got to do being the parent, you got to do it all. Shoot, you got to do that, the financial aid, you got to do everything. So shoot, I'm like, man, I'm tired. I'm not doing this no more. Dude.
Yeah, right. I thought about coaching for a while, but then I just kind of was like with Mark Hendrickson, right? We'd see his kids as much as he did, and I was like, man, I don't want to have that kind of life.
Yeah.
And of course, it takes me till like I'm almost 50 to figure it all out. So I was like, sure, I could have a nice coaching career and then started this all.
Yeah,
the wrong thing too.
Yeah, it's like that, man. And you got because you get, especially as an assistant, you got to deal with the quirks of the head coach. So depending on who you with, especially it's a couple of coaches I worked with, I never knew most of them. I really didn't have no big time relationship with them. So I had to fall in. You have to follow in what they want to do and their vision and how they want to do it, which you get it. But at some point, you're like, man, is some of this worth it? It's worth it for the kids. What you give them to the kids. But I was like, man, nah, I can do this somewhere else. I can do it close to my family, not having to move as much too. And then the climate is changing now too. With this, like you guys talked about earlier, this NIL stuff. I don't know if I can handle it, especially at these smaller schools. They're tough at the smaller school because now the smaller schools have become the junior colleges, basically. You go to a D2, D3 school, really a 1AA school, try to, you make All-American and and now this, the group of fives are doing it. So you just trying to get the film and be the best next person. And shoot, you go get your stuff taken care of in the portal. There's so many kids in the portal, these D3 kids and D2 kids in the portal that are still in the portal. So it's like 2,256 kids still in the portal that they done jumped in and messed up their opportunity they had.
Wait, so if they go in the portal, then they can't go, if they don't get picked up somewhere, then they just are like kind of in limbo?
They can go back if the school will let them back. But a lot of times the school move on if they go in the portal.
They replaced them already.
Yeah, so you go in the portal, most times the school you're at, they're gonna move on and replace you. If you go and unless you got some type of agreement with them. But shoot, most time that's why you go in the portal knowing where you're gonna go. You don't go in the portal hoping, because that's all that is a hope. You better go in the portal and have an idea where you're going, or talk to somebody, or somebody have talked to somebody and said, "Hey, we got this money for you if you come." But shoot, other than that, you wasting your time. And a lot of guys are doing that now.
And so was the NIL money like, is it kind of a hush hush thing, or it's literally just like, hey, here's the package we'll send you. This is what we've got. Here's $1 million or whatever it is, and then you can do it that way, or is it kind of just like under the table kind of thing?
It was on the table when we played. It ain't on the table no more now. You can do it. You can do it. And they use these collectives now or whatever to do it with. So these companies, organizations, or whatever the case may be, they don't directly do it through the school or through the coaching staff. Coaching staff not dropping bags out for people like the SEC used to do back in the day. You know, that's all this did was make this clear for SEC. They've been doing this, forever. But it's more collective. So a lot of times a lot of kids, a lot of these big time kids have to actually work for what they're getting. They may be signed on with a car dealership or this or that, and have to work so many promotional hours and all this stuff for them, and help promote the cars, do commercials and this and that. It's probably not tedious work, but it's time consuming.
So if let's say the kid's a bust then, so then what? Then they're more likely to drop the scholarship and drop the NIL then? If he doesn't perform, I mean, it's kind of professional then ish.
Right? It is professional-ish. And the thing is, before you can do it anyway. The scholarship has always been a 1-year scholarship. Which now I don't know now if they're making yearly deals and stuff like that with the kids. I don't know how that works because I haven't had to do it or been involved with it. But from day one, scholarships have been 1 year. They have to be renewed. That's why every year you have to go and re-sign your scholarship. Yeah. And so they can put, and that's what's happening now. That's why all the big schools got player personnel departments now. So the coaches now, they barely recruit now. They go watch a couple of games and kids and all that stuff, but they got these player personnel folks saying, "Hey, Johnny ain't cutting it." They grade these cats. Johnny ain't cutting it. We finna let Johnny go. So they actually cutting their scholarship. And Johnny got to get in the portal now. So we cut that scholarship. The money probably over with. I don't know exactly how that's working, but the scholarships are still on that ram. Coach don't have to renew that scholarship anymore. It's still a 1-year thing.
Yeah, especially when we were playing, it's like it happened, but very rarely, right? It was very once you kind of locked in, you were good, unless you were just not trying or something that was like
you had to be a turd pretty much to lose your scholarship back then. But now coach you're not performing, they can not renew you. Which is happening frequently now because of all this money that's in play. In essence, they in contracts, right? I mean, they in professional contracts. It's the minor league.
And we were laughing on one of the previous ones that just would take some free pizza to keep Hurley happy.
Yep. I remember we used to get the per diem after the game. A little $10 or whatever it was to get us
big bucks.
And then the big bucks.
That was the big buck. Yeah, $20, $40. That was a lot of money.
Yeah, it was a whole bunch of money. Then we got them Snapple bucks to go get a whole case of Snapples.
That's right. I forgot about Snapples.
That and the McDonald's. We had them bucks at McDonald's on Sunday. Like
oh yeah, like a Jimmy John's too or something, right? There was like a restaurants on that thing. Yeah,
we thought we were big time.
The little blue cards. Is that what those were?
Yes. We thought we were big time, man. These folks got it made now. We got a little $20 per diem after a game. That's if you traveled. If you didn't travel, you didn't get that money.
Made it sign for us. Streefer, legibly please.
Yeah, yes. Legibly please.
Yeah, he did do that. By the time he was done with that, right? He's like, legibly please.
He did do that. Yeah. Shoot, our best thing was us moving in Pheasant Ridge. We got paid to stay in Pheasant Ridge. I think me and D-Rod got like $28 a month. Just back. Stay in Pheasant Ridge, yeah.
Got the electric or something paid for, right? For sure.
Yeah, no doubt. But I mean, the housing was already paid for. So they paid us a check to stay there. So
yeah, for sure. You got like a stipend for sure.
Straight Section 8. But shoot, It was good though.
We were broke. Yeah, we were broke.
They were like kings right there. That $28 probably went on some of that liquor that we bought and stole at the same time.
You guys were calm though, right? I mean, you weren't that. I mean, you guys didn't get in trouble that much. I don't think, did you?
No.
Oh, that's what when I hear that story, I was like, oh man, these guys were tame.
Individual incidents, but we ain't do a whole. We probably have the best intramural basketball team ever assembled though. In the history of basketball. For what? Well, for the 4 years out, and I think they started before it started when Diaco was there, I believe. I don't know how long they have been playing, but when we were playing from 93 all the way to 90 through 96, we ran the intramural basketball league too.
That's true, you did.
We arguably could have competed with the basketball team. Some of the cats we had to play, because a couple of our guys on that team were actually, like all, they were big time basketball players too. Like, Willie Guy was a big time basketball player.
Yeah.
I think Ian Ing was all state basketball player himself.
I think our team played you guys in the finals and lost, but it was the two football teams I think made it to the finals.
Yes.
We had a battle. We were hoping someone had a video of that. That would
somebody got to have a tape.
I know, because it was a good battle.
Somebody have to have a tape of that.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys are so good.
Yeah, we had a good team. We had a team owner. Bobby Diaco was our owner. We had uniforms.
I forgot about that. Yeah, when you said Bobby, I was like, wasn't much of a basketball player, but then I remember, he was kind of like the owner.
He was operations ownership.
Yeah. He'd come in at the end of the game just to finish off the team or whatever. But
he come in and break it down with us. Don't worry about it, fellas. I got jerseys coming. we had new units every year.
Adidas tracksuit on too, right? He was probably rocking those. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who is this dude? Kangol hat and Adidas jumpsuit. You're like, where are we right now?
Yeah, where are we? We're in New York or we're in Iowa? What's going on?
Exactly. It's just like a physical game too. It's like just pounding on each other. Yeah, it's funny.
Oh shoot. We had brand new uniforms every year. Every year. It was not the same uniform every year. We had a new jersey every year. The new jerseys will be in this week, guys. Then leave it at that.
Oh yeah, they were crisp too. They were nice. Yeah, I was like, wait, where did those guys get those things?
I think we had the little undershirts, the white undershirts. We just wrote marker.
Most teams market their shirts.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
You guys had probably
warm
up suits, and then take them off for their game jerseys underneath.
So how did y'all come about the podcast? Doing this podcast, it's cool.
I kind of had the idea. I was watching some of this other stuff that was coming up, like Julian Edelman, talking about the Patriots and some of those things, and I was kind of like, man, I've gotten really plugged out of Iowa a bit. I mean, I guess it's some with like my brother still, but I was like, I hadn't been back to doing the different things, and like, man, we've got some great stories, and like, I have a production company, so I've been working kind of in that sort of area, like photo and video type deal, and I was like, oh man, let's get these guys together, like see where it takes this kind of thing, and it'd be fun to get back together and tell stories and all that. So Hurley jumped on. So
you the look side of it?
No.
He does the editing and a lot of the other stuff, and some of the graphics and that stuff. So
that's crazy, man. Y'all wow. That's good though. I'm glad y'all doing it, man. Glad y'all doing it. It's good to see y'all. That's for real.
Yeah. I think the other thing too is some of it is like, I think Iowa probably is going to lose out in the recruiting piece because they just don't have the like draw that other places do. And so I think some of this was to be like, here's kind of the special community that we have, like all these, guys like you and Scott and all the rest of us are just like the story that they have behind it, and like what it meant to them and what kind of direction it took their lives and that stuff. I think there was a lot of that piece that I was like, man, this is a special group, special thing. Like, great to document it. Hopefully, if kids are thinking about coming there, this is the community they already have, right? If you come in and work hard, you're like, this is like, you've got guys that played years ago to guys that played, last year. It's kind of the same group, same mentality. So I think it's kind of just wanted to showcase that a bit too,
Yeah, that's good. It needs to be, man. It's a special place, though, man. A lot of pride in that place, from the community to the players as well. So hopefully they can keep it that way. They winning a lot of games, and not quite as pretty, but they winning games and doing things. But hopefully they can keep it going, man. Keep it live. Whatever happened to the Vine? Is it still there? We didn't talk about the Vine.
Yeah, the one that's kind of south of downtown. It's like kind of sideways down, like down a sloped hill. Is that the one we're talking about? Yeah, I think that's
a little cuss. We used to get the 10-cent wings at the Vine.
Oh man, Skeets had
a hot
those
spot.
every night.
It was Wednesday, I believe. 10-cent wing Wednesday or Tuesday, one of them.
Looks like it's still there.
I think it was. Yeah.
Absolute staple.
Skeets, like in the dorms, I think he had them every night, man. He ordered that shit every night.
Yes.
I was like, I see that little box outside. I was like, man, again?
Well, I mean, we'll be in a pack, maybe packed in there with football players and just eating wings. Especially, it was Wednesday or Tuesday was the 10-cent wing night. And we closed the Vine down. We didn't stop until there was no more wings, pretty much. That's how good that place was. And the wings were good too.
Yeah. I do remember going there a couple times, yeah.
Yeah, they were great.
You just went a couple?
Yeah.
We went
I must have
week.
got pizza or something the rest of the times, but yeah, every week, wow.
Yeah, y'all was pizza eaters. We was eating them wings every week. Every week. 10 cents? Can't beat that.
I said I went a handful of times, I think. I think a decent amount. Yeah, it was
good. Both y'all keep saying handful of times. We went every week. Every week. 10-cent wings. I'm telling you. You can't beat that.
200 times.
Yeah, we went 200 times. Yeah. At least. At least, especially in the summer, because when we first moved off campus, we stayed in a duplex that was around the corner from the Vine, right down the street. So we're actually stayed before we moved to Pheasant Ridge. We were staying in his apartment. It was right, she was almost walking distance. So them 93, 94 years. 94 years. Yeah, man. Me, D-Rob, and Sedrick was up in there every day. But it was a lot of teammates up in there though. Everybody went for them 10-cent wings. You couldn't beat that. Shoot, girls was in there, track team, everybody was. And I don't know why y'all wasn't in there. Y'all must have been eating at
probably couldn't get in there. It's probably too packed by the time.
Yeah, too packed.
Right? You guys got there when it opened.
It was probably capacity. They would ride out to Corville. Perkins was the other spot out in Corville. That was the late night joint right there.
Yeah, early breakfast.
Yeah. We'll leave the field house or the Coliseum the Column and go out there and get them cinnamon rolls late at night. Or take your little date out there. Thank you balling. That was your balling restaurant right there. That's a little bit better than IHOP is what that basically is.
Wow. Where else did you go get food at?
Out there?
Downtown? Like for lunch. What'd you do for lunch?
We used to hit the cafeteria. We used to come out of camp. I had a morning conditioning, go get in the camp. Especially when it was out campus, you had to break in that back door. Or somebody open that back door so you can get in the back door and get in for breakfast. Because we wasn't supposed to be in there. We were supposed to have our own food. Always when we was down in the Piedmont, when we were down there, at Hardee's was always a big thing. I probably eating more cheeseburgers out of Hardee's. They had that little, it was called a melt jack or something, melt something. I forgot the name of the sandwich that they had that was pretty good. That it was mandatory we got when we got stupid drunk and got through coming out of the field house. We'd go straight to Odems and slam them burgers and watch somebody fight, because somebody's gonna fight coming out of there.
Saw many a fights at the Harvest. Yeah.
Many fights. Somebody's gonna fight.
Your full name, Demosthenes. Spell it out for everybody. And then is there origin story behind that?
My full name is Demosthenes Odems the third. I am the third. It's third generation. My grandfather was named that, was given the name by his aunt. It was transferred down to my dad and then to me. It's a Greek origin name. Greek orator, philosopher of words, was named Demosthenes. It was actually spelled differently. I think he was a Demotthenes, I believe is how he was spelled. But mine is spelled Demosessneeds. So it's probably from, my grandparents, my grandfather's family is from West Texas, which is north of Waco, little country town called West Texas. So she probably heard Demosthenes in some Greek theology or whatever the case may be, or whatever happened, and decided to name my grandfather then, and just said Demosthenes and didn't spell it all right. Just wrote it down how they said it, So that's probably how it came about.
Yeah,
that's about the gist of what I know of my name, but I do know it's from the Greek orator.
I got lucky. Mine's easy to spell. Probably still took me longer than it should have.
Yeah, that's crazy trying to get those 12 letters down, man. Shoot, I knew when I was 5. My mom had them on my wall when I was 5. My name, address, and phone number.
Memorize this.
Yeah, remember, you need to know this because no one else will. Like I said, I had a blast in Iowa, enjoyed every bit of it. We played our hearts out. We loved each other. Had a lot of fun, man. No complaints. I just appreciate y'all give me a chance, have me on your show, man.
Yeah.
Y'all could have picked anybody.
So I just talked to Demo. Gotta get him on.
Yeah, thanks for doing it. We've been enjoying this and love reconnecting with everybody. So
cool. Yeah, I'm always a phone call away, or Instagram or LinkedIn. I don't even do Facebook. It's too, like we talk about this technology. It's too much for me.
Yeah.
It's a lot. Yeah. So how can people get a hold of you? We can put your Instagram if you want.
Yeah, I'm on Instagram at Coach O10. I think it's just Demo Odems on Twitter.
Okay.
I got an email address. It's demoodems@gmail.com. You know how to find me. So I ain't hard to find. Like Dion said, I ain't hard to find. And I'm not no private guy, so it's pretty easy to find me, man. Oh, I do think my LinkedIn is my full name though. Yeah, it's Demosthenes Odems on there. It might be Demosthenes Odems the third. I'm not sure.
All right, you guys have a good night. Thanks, appreciate it.
Yeah,
all right,
thanks,
brothers.
Demo. Great catching up.
See you, man.
All right, y'all take care, man. Good seeing y'all.
You too.
All right.